skillets and all our half-price frying pans are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
This Saturday night, the wait is over. After extensive refurbishment, Voodoo Venue Letterkenny is back. Bigger, better and ready to party. Fresh new look, same great atmosphere. Live music all weekend long. Doors open this Saturday 15th. Don't miss it. Voodoo Venue Letterkenny, where the party never stops.
The bold way to start your day.
Look at that for time and nearly 9 o'clock. We can't be late today.
No, thanks very much, Lee.
You're very
For
welcome.
getting me on time. Look
at that. Short and sweet today, boys. So we'll keep all the chat. What day's tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. Oh, a big day tomorrow
So we've
then.
got a big charity day. Are you hanging around
I'm
after
going to be
the show? Or are you
between
coming
11
back?
and 12.
So you're going to go, you're not there between 9 and 10?
No, but you'll be sick of listening to me. A wee break, do the world of good.
All right, that's fine.
11
Well, everyone's coming in. We've got loads of presenters throughout the course of the day landing in as well. Not
Yeah.
just those that are on during the day, but obviously
Weekend, and evening guys and girls and everybody, the whole
Exactly.
shaboodle.
So it should be good fun, and we're
Big
inviting the
party.
public up to say hello.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right, okay, well, we'll do that. We talked enough. We did an hour last night, if anyone wants to listen to that.
God help you.
All right, Lee, thanks
All right.
very much indeed. That is Lee Googe back tomorrow morning. Lee Googe back tomorrow morning at 6:30 as he kicks off our big 35th birthday charity open day here at Highland Radio. I'll tell you more about that, of course, as the morning wears on. But at 9, let's get that news update, and it's over to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. 2 newly elected councillors have voiced their frustration at the perceived lack of progress by the defective Concrete Block Grant Committee since their election in June. At the most recent meeting, councillors Martin Scanlon and Ali Farron both expressed their concern that little has been achieved to date. Councillor Ali Farron of the 100% Redress Party specifically highlighted his frustration at the difficulty in obtaining answers to his questions.
We were rookie councillors coming in, and we knew that there had been 14 years of inactivity, for want of a better word, in my opinion. And we felt that if we got elected, we could raise the profile and raise the issues. And I think we're doing that to a degree. But it's the questions are still falling on deaf ears elsewhere in this country, namely around Dublin. And we're not getting the answers.
Irish homeowners are still paying more for their mortgages than our European neighbours. Despite a series of interest rate cuts by the ECB, lenders here are still charging a higher premium than banks elsewhere. Business editor Joe Lynham says the latest central bank stats from January show we're paying the 5th most expensive mortgage interest rates in the Eurozone.
Slightly up, which is kind of weird because interest rates are going down, as you know. They stood on average at 3.82%, according to the central bank, at the end of January. Now, there have been 2 rate cuts since then, and that makes us the 5th most expensive in the Eurozone, behind Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Slovakia.
Cracking down on drink and drug driving will be the focus of Gardaí this weekend. An extensive roads policing operation has begun this morning and will last until Tuesday. The force is aiming to keep road users safe for the bank holiday weekend. So far this year, 32 people have died on the roads, 8 fewer than this time last year. The US president says he has his ways of putting pressure on Russia if they refuse the terms of a ceasefire deal with Ukraine. US envoys are currently travelling to Moscow for talks with the Kremlin officials. Yesterday, Volodymyr Zelensky said his administration is prepared to accept the American brokered deal. US weapon deliveries to Ukraine have also resumed after Washington lifted its suspension of military aid for Kyiv. And having a look now to weather, starting off cold, bright and mostly dry this morning with some isolated showers. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. Back again at 10 o'clock.
Switch to 3 and get the super smart, super fast iPhone 16 from as little as €0 upfront when you trade in. Switch at your local 3 store today. Subject to trade-in minimum acceptance criteria and annual price increase of CPI plus 3% on 3 select Freedom 5G plan. 24-month minimum term and direct debit apply. See 3.e for details.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning. You're very welcome along to the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. It is Thursday and it's the 13th of March. How are you all keeping? I do hope you're very well indeed, and we're really pleased to have you listening to the show, and hopefully we'll not leave you disappointed. We've got loads to talk about over the next 3 hours. We're going to be covering all the major issues and conversations of the day. We're going to be covering the issues that are important to you here right across the Northwest. And we want your views. That's the key to this as well. 07491 25000 is the WhatsApp and text number. Maybe there's an issue you believe we should be talking about, or just something that you want to pass on. This is not going well, is it? Speaking. 07491 25000 if you want to give us a call. Caroline or our researcher and producer taking your calls, assisted by Shannon as well. And you can email comments at highlandradio.com. And tomorrow, we're all excited, as I mentioned to Lee there, it's our big 35th birthday open day here at Highland Radio. The doors are flung open. We're inviting you to come up, if you want to, by the way, and have a chat, meet the staff here, maybe get some pictures if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. Have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee and some tray bakes. And also we have loads of musical entertainment and great conversational guests throughout the course of the programming, not least on this show. I'll tell you more about that a little later on. Don't forget, you can watch the programme as always on our YouTube channel, Highland Radio Ireland. You can watch on your mobile device, but also on your smart TV or Fire Stick. That has the YouTube app on it. And we're on Facebook, Highland Radio News and Sport, Highland Radio Hub, and on the X platform as well, which we have quite a big viewership on X, believe it or not, which is quite pleasing. Let's look at the papers today. And one of the lead stories in the Tyrconnell Tribune, an already heavily congested traffic route from the Ballyrain roundabout to the Polestar Junction in Letterkenny will be made a lot worse if a proposed cycleway is allowed to be constructed. That was the warning from Councillor Kieran Brogan during Tuesday's municipal district meeting, where he said that plans now approved for the cycleway in front of the Mount Ergal Hotel were not there when it went through the statutory period of public consultation. This is something he mentioned on this show previously, and now, of course, has reiterated it at the council meeting. When the new design with cycle lanes come to light last summer, the proposal was met with a sense of bewilderment by the public and among the business community. Councillor Brogan said it was something that should not have happened, and he raised the matter directly with the council, along with his own concerns over the impact that it would have on traffic flow in the area of the town. He highlighted the matter again on Tuesday, and the council has committed to revisit his concerns. So the plans have been approved for a cycleway from the mini roundabout at the old creamery to the Polestar. Councillor Brogan has expressed serious concerns over plans to reduce the section outside the Mount Ergal Hotel to 2 lanes. So whether you're from Letterkenny or not, you'll know the road we're talking about there, wouldn't you? From Ramelton towards the Polestar roundabout outside the Mount Ergal Hotel. There's 3 lanes there currently. You can turn right into the Mount Ergal, going out the way. If you're coming in the way, maybe you're going into the shops that are there. The names escape me at the moment. Screwfix, etc. Right? So there's 3 lanes there currently at the moment. They're going to reduce that down to 2 under these proposals to accommodate a cycle lane. And there is obviously then going to be created, one would imagine, a natural bottleneck. I'm not sure the lights can be adjusted to account for that. But anyway, the council says they will revisit that. I just wanted to mention, actually, it's also pictured on the front of the paper, and that is Councillor Michael McClafferty. And there's a picture of him and his lovely mother, Bridie McClafferty of Fanmore, Falcarra. Now, unfortunately, Michael lost his mum, and it's lovely to see a picture of him and his mum on the front of the paper, and we express our condolences to Michael and everyone affected, family and friends in the community, by the loss of his lovely mum, Bridie Only McClafferty. On to the Derry news this morning, and Donegal coroner Dr. Dennis McCauley has said he believes lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic continues to have psychological effects on many people. The Stranorlar GP was making his comments at this month marks 5 years since the outbreak of the pandemic. Dr. McCauley praised the success of the vaccination programme, but said the impact of long COVID can be seen in the psychological aftermath that lockdown had and continues to have on many people. I just wonder, how many of you out there do you feel that your life has been negatively impacted by that? Do you still feel the do you still feel the negative effects of the lockdown, be it in how you feel, how you socialise, maybe it's in your children. I know there's an awful lot of conversation about that, but I'd just be really curious to hear from you, regular folk like myself, as to how it has affected you, and if you do actually still feel the impacts of the lockdown on you and your family. Give us a text or WhatsApp if you're comfortable to do so, 086 60 25,000, because as I say, we hear an awful lot of people talking about it, but I don't hear an awful lot of members of the public talking about it. We were really quite lucky, maybe it's just how I approach things. If you face adversity in your life and loss and that type of thing, I think you sometimes have to try and adjust, and then other things don't maybe have the same impact on you as they might others. I worked throughout it. I was coming into work every single day, so I was out of the house. We made a thing of the shopping almost being like days out and what have you. I was lucky in that it afforded me more time to spend with my father, who passed away during COVID, and my sister as well. So to some extent, it hasn't. Well, not to actually some extent, to a great extent, it didn't affect me negatively, if that makes sense. And thankfully, the boys too, the older boys, weren't massive for going out and stuff as well, and still were able to socialise with their friends through PlayStations and all that kind of stuff. So we kind of, I think we did, sometimes maybe you don't realise it, but I think we got through it kind of okay and out the other side, and it feels to me like just a blip of a memory, really. But according to Dr. Macaulay and others, it has had and continues to have a very negative impact on people, on their health, psychologically. So if that's you and you feel like sharing, as I say, give us a WhatsApp or text 086 60 25,000. Or if the opposite is true as well, maybe you're similar to me in how you approached it with your attitude. The Derry News this morning. Numerous domiciliary care users and their families have contacted the Derry News following major changes in provision in Derry Cityside, introduced by the Western Health and Social Care Trust. The changes came into effect on Monday morning and have caused widespread distress for service users, families and carers. You can read much more from Catherine McGinty and those affected by that in that paper today. Right, so Micheál Martin headed over to America. He brought a bowl of shamrock, and he met with J.D. Vance and he met with Donald Trump. I had expressed on a number of occasions in advance of this that I thought that this would be used as an opportunity to give Ireland and the EU a good kicking, if you know what I mean, because it's a very intimidating scenario. We're looking on at the two men sitting in their chairs. They're looking out at dozens and dozens of press, with gotcha questions, looking for their headlines. You've seen exactly how they used questionings to agitate the situation between Trump and Zelensky. With all that being said, Micheál Martin did good. He handled it very well. I know some people are analysing his body language at certain times, but he's dealing with Donald Trump here, and you don't often go into the Oval Office and come out the better for it. And I think, in fairness to Micheál Martin, whether you support him or not, and the same with Donald Trump, whether you support him or not, it is better for us as a nation that Ireland and America don't enter into some sort of aggro. So with all that taken into consideration, I would rate it as a successful trip for Micheál Martin. As I say, people can analyse some of his body language when issues like housing was being talked about, okay, and maybe people might feel I'm being a bit going a bit soft on it, but I think, even if you maybe don't support Micheál Martin, just park that for a second and say, look, he's come out of it. There's no major headlines. It wasn't really covered in the US press. Donald Trump says he doesn't want to harm Ireland. We don't need the aggro. And I would say, job done, the same as the front of the Irish Daily Mail. I'll read what their opinion of it is. Micheál Martin parried vague threats to Ireland by Donald Trump over a trade imbalance, corporation tax and the pharmaceutical industry during a rambling 50-minute Oval Office press conference yesterday. Government sources said they were happy with how the potentially explosive meeting went, and Mr. Martin later invited the US President to visit Ireland. Speaking at the Friends of Ireland luncheon, the Taoiseach said, and we'll go to page 6, we hope to welcome President Trump back to Ireland soon. President Trump Thank you for joining us today to mark our National Day. You are a great friend of Ireland, Mr. Martin said in the US Capitol. I know there is one small corner in the west of Ireland, a beautiful and remote park called Doombeg, County Clare, which holds a very special place in your heart. And we hope to welcome you back to our small island and indeed to these particular greens very, very soon. Interestingly, President Trump declared that Conor McGregor was one of his favourite Irish people. I do happen to like your fighter. He's got the best tattoos I've ever seen, Mr. Trump said. This is, of course, despite his civil case against him, accused of raping a woman. It was also referenced to Rosie O'Donnell. Donald Trump doesn't like her, and he mentioned that she's moved to Ireland, and I think Micheál Martin was a bit like, what? Who's that? Which most people would be, but Donald Trump's had issues with that lady for quite some time. But geopolitically, and again, there was a time when you got papers out, and there was a lot of local national news in them. There's certainly lots in the local papers, but even the nationals now. If you get the Irish Times and you go past the first 2 or 3 pages, you might find 1 or 2 Irish stories, and after that, it's all international. I don't know if they pay the press agency for it or what have you, but there's not an awful lot of Irish news coverage in the papers, so that's why I'm focusing a bit on some of the geopolitical stuff, which affects us all. And of course, we were mentioning that Donald Trump, whilst his meeting with Micheál Martin was cordial and no great harm caused to Ireland as a result of it, he did use that press conference to have a pop at the EU, and the EU and the US are in a trades war. The European Union will impose tariffs on more than €20 billion worth of US goods from next month, hitting back against unjustified tariffs introduced by the US and ratcheting up a dispute many fear will escalate into a major trade war. The move by US President Donald Trump to levy imports of steel and aluminium took effect yesterday, drawing retaliatory measures from Europe. The European Commission, the EU's executive body responsible for trade policy, announced it would be hitting billions worth of US goods with its own tariffs, which are effectively a tax on importers in the coming weeks, which effectively is a tax on you. Again, I ain't getting too excited about all of this. There's a lot of posturing. We've seen in a situation where Donald Trump raised massive taxes on Canada in the morning. He reduced them in the afternoon. I think Canada made some concessions about the providing electricity into part of the United States. It'll all be sorted. It will all be sorted. Hopefully, it'll be sorted on the eastern outskirts of Europe, because you would know that the Ukrainians have accepted a peace plan, a 30-day ceasefire peace plan that was put forward by the Americans. It's now at the table of the Russians, and tactically, again, it's really quite good, right? Because Donald Trump has been cozying up, some would say, to Putin, but he's agreed this deal with Ukraine. He's lifted the stay on arms and information and put this on the table of Vladimir Putin. So it's very much painted Putin into a corner. Does he want peace? Does he want war? From a negotiation diplomatic point of view, if you don't go into the ins and outs of it, it is not bad tactics. But anyway, the Kremlin said yesterday it was awaiting details from Washington about a proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine before responding, while US Secretary of State Marco Rubio hoped a deal would be struck within days. On Tuesday, as I mentioned, the US agreed to resume weapons supplies and intelligence sharing after Kyiv said at talks in Saudi Arabia that it was ready to support a ceasefire proposal. The Kremlin said it was carefully studying the results of that meeting and awaiting details from Mr. Rubio and White House National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Later in the day, the White House said Mr. Waltz had spoken with his Russian counterparts, and there's a team of Americans heading over to Russia. Right, okay. That's us all up to date in that stuff. The Irish Farmers Journal this morning. Factories continue to scramble for cattle supplies, with agents scouring the country looking for factory-fit cattle. This week's beef trade rose another 10 cent a kilogram, driven by tight supplies and insatiable demand for Irish beef in the UK market. Bullocks are starting on a base price of €6.90 to €7 a kilogram, with heifers starting at €7 to €7.20 a kg. Huge numbers of cattle are now being bought at flat prices, with €7.50, €7.60 a kilogram now on the table for Aberdeen Angus bullocks and heifers. That's an increase of €1.40 to €1.50. a kilogram, or €500 ahead since the first week in January. So if you have them, well done. You're going to get good prices, I suppose. The Irish Daily Star tells us that a cargo ship captain arrested after the North Sea tanker crash in Russia, is a Russian national. UK police are holding the 59-year-old on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter after one of his crew on the MV Solong was missing, presumed dead. The Portuguese vessel and the anchored MV Stena Immaculate, carrying 220,000 barrels of jet fuel for the US military, crashed 13 miles off the East Yorkshire coast on Monday, sparking a massive fire. Now, the Marine Accident Investigation Board in Grimsby was questioning the Solong crew, including Russians and Filipinos, about the collision. The crew of the Immaculate were due to give US officials their version of events, but it turns out that the captain had failed safety checks in Dublin. And lastly, they want to control your social media posts. It's in the Irish Sun. A new government strategy to crack down on disinformation on social media is set to be published in the coming weeks. The last government created a new online safety code for social media and internet companies. It's aimed to force them to do more to protect children and prevent them from seeing harmful content. I think we'd all agree on that. That is very possible. For these companies to protect kids. They need to do that, but they're not doing it. Alongside this, a working group was set up to develop a national strategy to counter the rise of disinformation online. That's a little bit more concerning. What is disinformation? Who determines what is true and what is not true? That is a problem for many people. They recently delivered the new disinformation strategy to Communications Minister Patrick O'Donovan, who confirmed it won't impinge on the freedom of speech. But then again, who determines what is, freedom of expression and so on and so forth? Right. That is a run through of some of the papers. If there's anything there you wish to comment on, 07491 25,000. We're going to be talking about new guidelines which might have an impact on those who have green fingers. Stay with us. Paul McLaughlin is going to be joining us to discuss that very shortly.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
For an efficient, mild hybrid system that doesn't compromise on the joy of driving, test drive the Mazda CX-30. This compact, stylish SUV comes with fuel-saving Mazda M hybrid technology and a 6-year warranty. Test drive the 251 Mazda range at McGinley Motors, Letterkenny. Mazda, crafted in Japan.
Discover the ultimate escape at the Spa at Orchids, the Holyrood Hotel, Bundoran, nominated for Spa Experience of the Year 2024 by the Irish Hotel Awards. Indulge in an oriental bamboo massage, reflexology, or choose from our signature therapies, skin glowing facials and invigorating body treatments. Couples can unwind together in twin treatment rooms or share a peaceful moment in the secret garden with outdoor hot tub. The Spa at Orchids, open daily. To buy a gift voucher or reserve your appointment, visit holyroodhotel.com.
Watch out, we've got a parade of offers coming through this St. Patrick's Day at Centra. Like Caro Mico pizzas, any 2 for €12. Coca-Cola 12-can packs, €6 each plus deposit. And King and Tato crisps 12 packs, €3 each. Centra. Live every day.
Highland Radio's 35th birthday charity day. Donegal Cancer Flights and Services provide vital transport services for cancer patients who need to travel for life-saving treatment.
The first time I was told I had cancer, it was a scary experience. I think the word cancer frightens you. My children were small, young at that time, and I thought I wasn't ready to leave them. And yeah, it is a scary experience, just when you hear the word,
For just €10, you can support Donegal Cancer Flights and Services and other incredible causes while securing your chance to win in our big cash giveaway this Friday. Donate today and make a real difference. Visit highlandradio.com now.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is
The time now approaching 24 minutes past 9. Paul McLaughlin, gardener at Ballochder Garden Centre, joins us now. Paul, we're not in the garden as such, right? Are we far from being in the garden?
No, particularly. The traditional start of the gardening season was St. Patrick's Day, so we're not a million miles away altogether.
So we could be seeing more of you chatting about gardens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
You see at the minute there, you see the thorns are starting to bloom in the hedges and stuff like that, so things are definitely on the rise, hopefully.
I've not seen as many daffodils about.
No,
Is that because
funny,
people aren't putting them down?
They're a wee bit slow this year, but now they are coming.
Because sometimes they're up in January and you're like,
yes, exactly.
Oh, cut yourself on daffodils.
Yes, it depends on the mildness, I suppose, of period past, you know.
Right, okay. I suppose, too, a lot of people coming into the spring, and this isn't why we invited you in, we're going to talk about something else, but a lot of people are still counting the cost of Storm Owen, I would imagine, and will be as they head into the spring in terms of, hedges down, trees down. I don't know. We had a couple of trees down, took an entire fence down. Real pain in the neck. And it wasn't my tree either, which is extra hurtful.
Yes, that's always a problem, all right. But no, the storm has had a huge toll on gardens around the place. There's a lot of people who've lost like greenhouses, polytunnels.
Yeah.
Like, people who'd been to growing veg, that kind of crack, so they're a bit of rebuilding going on. But even sort of people's gardens, like they've lost a lot of maybe trees that have been there for their lifetime, if you know what I mean.
Yes,
so it's kind of a new opportunity to sort of redesign that. But obviously there's a lot of pain involved in losing a tree that sort of meant a lot to you.
And getting rid of a tree is a €500 or €600 job if you're lucky. A felled tree.
Right.
If it's a biggie.
Yes,
there's
absolutely.
a lot of expense to it as well.
I know,
and
there's like
whatever it takes with it on its way down.
Pretty much some of the big trees, it could be nearly a week's work involved in actually getting rid of them and everything.
And it's expert work.
Yes,
well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't mess around. I mean, there's a lot of availability of chainsaws now, but I used one once and it bounced back at me.
Yes.
And I left it back, and that was the end of my relationship with chainsaws.
No, you have to have a lot of respect for them. So you do, because they're great tools.
So much talk, like.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, so what is the story about guidelines incoming and who's it going to affect? Landowners and gardeners, I have in my brief notes here. What are these guidelines?
Basically, back in July 2024, the government signed in laws, the Invasive Alien Species Act, which they're tightening up the laws on sort of plants and animals coming in that are non-native to the area who are deemed to be harmful to the local biodiversity. Basically, what the Irish government is doing, they were lagging behind. This came in the EU in 2014, and Ireland never actually implemented it, but they have done now.
So, say, for instance, it might sound like a silly analogy, but, sometimes on one of those channels high up on Sky, you'll see Border Patrol or something. And it seems like in Australia and New Zealand, it's a big no-no to bring seeds in, to bring, even dried dead animals or what have you.
Yeah.
Because they want to maintain... they don't want to bring anything invasive in, and they don't want to bring anything that could damage the native stuff.
Yes.
Is that the kind of stuff we're talking about on a scale?
Yes, that's exactly the sort of stuff we're talking about. All right. There are animals involved, but mainly at the minute, the law seems to be including plants more so. Plants, probably the most common plants would be the likes of the dreaded Japanese knotweed, came in like 100 years ago. The giant gunnera came in the 90s, which is the big massive rhubarb you see along the road there. The rhododendron ponticum has been about since the 1700s. But it's just... all these plants are deemed to be harming the natural biodiversity and killing off native plants.
Smothering or taking the real estate that your traditional Irish greenery would live.
A lot of the plants like the gunnera or like the rhododendron, their leaves totally block out the light under them. So native plants can't actually flourish under them. So that's mainly where the problem lies.
So how do they catch who is a gardener or a landowner to sort of impose these guidelines?
That seems to be where that from my looking at it, that seems to be the problem lies.
Yeah, seems to be the flaw in it for me as well.
Yes, but to be honest, I think actually the more I've read up on a wee bit on this in the last few days, it seems to be connected to the National Biodiversity Plan, which goes from 2023 to 2030, and I think the government are trying to join up their own agencies. Like previously, the Rivers Agency looked after their bit, National Parks looked after their bit, and councils looked after their bit. But I think now there seems to be a plan involved to bring all these together, along with the introduction of these laws seems to me to be sort of an opportunity for education almost.
Yeah,
highlight the issue more so.
But that being said, the state has a list of farmers. There's a lot of farmers receiving payment. The state has an awful lot of information on their property, right? Do you anticipate that they might be the low hanging fruit here?
That would be my fear. Actually, there's a tradition of this in terms of back in the 1936 they brought in the Noxious Weeds Act, which meant I'm sure people are familiar with benweeds or ragwort. The yellow.
But I've heard stories of guards in people's fields.
Yes,
back in the day.
My father would have told me that as like the guards used to be, and there used to be sort of almost a point of shame that the guards landed to tell you to cut your benweeds.
Yeah,
but like
No, I don't think the Guards are going to be doing it this time round.
Possibly not. However, as recently as 2020, the actual department did cut people's farm payments for benweeds. 20 farmers got done in 2020. The farm payments reduced.
Wow.
So I would fear that in this case, maybe the farmers would be the low-hanging fruit to be able
Rhododendron.
Yes.
Are they potentially the big problem for farmers then?
Rhododendron are a big problem. Sort of, if you go down, obviously in the region, Glenveigh is always famous for the rhododendron.
Yeah.
And it has escaped from Glenveigh basically, so it's covering a lot of area and just in general Termon Creasle area down there. Huge problem. I don't know figures for Glenveigh, but Killarney National Park in the last 5 years has spent 2.7 million trying to get rid of the rhododendrons. Not even scratching the surface.
And it's not an easy plant to get rid of, is it?
No.
So if farmers were told, right, you have to reduce the amount of rhododendrons on your farms or it could affect your payments or eliminate it, it's going to be costly and it's going to take time.
It's going to be costly, surely. Rhododendron, each branch in a rhododendron can actually produce 7,000 seeds and disperse them over 100 metres.
Yeah.
So it creates a huge amount of problems around them. But it really is just a matter of sort of a year-long process or a couple of years and actually just trim them back and sort of use weed killers then to try and kill off the roots.
And do we know, Paul, is this potentially coming down the line or, was the Department of Agriculture already engaging with the farming community on this? Or
I'm not sure about the farming community. Like, in terms of stuff, part of these laws concern stuff coming into the country, plants coming into the country, and Department of Agriculture, us as a garden centre down here, they would keep a very tight.
Right. So, what are you importing? And if you had a particular reason for wanting to grow a certain particular thing, you might require a particular permit for it. That's how they're controlling it, really.
Pretty much. But even down the garden centre, we're subject to about 6 weekly inspections. Where you come in and actually look through your plants for plant health and for things, and you have to have all the paperwork to back up. Where they're like an animal now, or a passport. Every plant is a passport, and they're all traceable.
What?
Every plant is a passport,
No,
like a person. Yes, it does. Like
every plant.
Yes, every plant's supposed to have a passport that you sell out. So the passport is
of all sizes. So say I got little potting plants, right?
If you buy one thing, a lot of times printed on the pot.
Right. Okay.
It's just in the last 5 years it's really come in. But then if there's a problem with that plant, you're supposed to be able to go back to me, and I'm supposed to go back to who I bought it off, and then he's supposed to go back to whoever grew it in the first place.
Okay.
To trace it back to where the outbreak of this particular disease may.
Right, that's okay. So it is about tracking disease as such, right? Because obviously, you could depot your plant and you don't have the knowledge of the passport number any longer.
Yes.
So, but that's what they're trying to achieve, whether it's possible or not.
Exactly. But basically, it's not so much if we sell them at retail to the public, they're not that traceable. Whereas if we pass them on to, say, the council, or if we pass them on to farmers, they have to go with a passport so they can come back through the chain of where they come out of.
All right, but there is definitely now a move to catch up with Europe and elsewhere in terms of protecting, our native biodiversity.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's like a lot of things. Maybe introducing helmet wearing on quads, reducing speed limits. It's not always necessarily about enforcement or how many people will. It's about changing a mindset.
Yes,
right. I know people don't want to hear that, right? But that's the truth. So a lot of people go, "Oh, reducing the speed limits is pointless," but there's a lot of people that will just, going forward, stick to the speed limits, and those who are inclined to speed will. So I think this is about getting this conversation out there as much as
I think it's about
massive
education.
crackdowns.
I think it's about education as much as anything else. So it is to get people aware of the problem and maybe be a bit more proactive in terms of dealing with it.
All right.
Even actually, whenever I first looked at this a few nights ago, the rhododendron ponticum that is actually banned Europe-wide. First thing I did whenever I googled it, one's come up for sale.
Wow.
So there is still obviously an ongoing problem, more so than I thought it was.
Yeah, so at the very least, that shouldn't be happening.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe this will be form part of that. Are we doing anything in the garden at the moment, other than tidying up, raking maybe? I don't know.
Tidying up, digging over in a lot of cases. Anybody sort of into veg there, a lot of people have even started their tomatoes inside the house just to bring them on the seedlings that way. St. Patrick's Day is traditional day for putting in your potatoes.
That's right. So I can't believe that's come around again so quick.
Yes.
Not that I put them in, but I know people that do, and it seems like no time that they were doing that before. Yeah. It all depends on how hard the ground is, of course.
Yes, that's it. So now, in fairness, it's actually been dry for the last couple of weeks, so the ground is actually... It's amazing the difference in the ground.
Yeah. And it's kind of mild too. I mean, on nighttime temperatures are still low, but 7 to 10 during the day, mostly dry, a bit of moisture. That's the way it's going to be for the next week. All right, listen, Paul. Anything else on that? You're you know way more about this than I. Is there any important points of that conversation I've missed as it relates to these changes?
It seems to be the thing is, well, from my point of view, for the importation and sale of plants, whereas for the ordinary householder, it's going to come down to knowingly allowing the spread of it can lead you into problems. So I would say, obviously, just if you are aware that you have an outbreak, maybe take action, or maybe even seek professional advice, because there are contractors out there who can remove such things, or even get you a plan in terms of how to deal with them.
Right, and it's another layer of probably paperwork and bureaucracy, which eventually might have to trickle down to the consumer as well.
Quite possibly, all right.
In terms of cost and what have you. All right, Paul, when's the... you and Caroline sort this out, but when do you think we'll be chatting about gardening?
Usually start with the start of April, around that sort of...
Okay, cool.
Around that sort of period.
Right, so we're in March, that's not far away. Are we going to get a good summer? Are you seeing anything in your seeds? Are you seeing anything on your...
No, I haven't seen anything particular.
Has the sun met the wind?
I haven't seen anything particularly now. But funny, me and my beliefs there, you were chatting, I heard you chatting yesterday to the leak guy about the sticks.
Yes.
For leaks. Get me 2 brass rods and I'll get you a drain. So
why? How?
I don't know. Quite honest.
Is it to do with you or the rods?
I don't know. Tell you, it was years ago. I was actually working with buying a digger, and he got out his brass rods and he went and he found the drain just like that.
Yeah.
And I says, how do you do that? Like, what's the thing? He says, just don't think about it. Just do it. And don't think you can't. Don't think you can. Anything else? Just do it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not. This is not like trying to believe something that's not even there. I mean, presumably, magnetism.
Yeah.
Stuff. Do you know what I mean? The pull of the earth, gaps in the earth, water, how it you know what I mean? It's not like, I presume there probably is a science to it.
Yes, I think it's to do with the brass rods. Things to do with the water flowing as much as anything else. You'll find where it's moving. If it was standing still, you probably wouldn't, if you know what I mean.
All right, okay.
So, I don't know how it works, anything else, but it seems to be a thing.
Okay, so if you need, what can you find with your brass rods?
Drains.
If you need,
drains.
If you need a drain found, and he has spare time, which I doubt.
No,
Paul McLaughlin is your man. All right, listen, Paul, thanks very much for that. I really do appreciate it, and look forward to us kicking off the crack in April. Okay, I'm going to talk to Stuart in a moment, but first I have to take this quick break.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
It's the holiday of a lifetime. Highland in the Sun 2025. This September 14th to the 21st, we go back to the stunning 4-star Sol Costa Dorada Hotel Saloon for 7 nights dinner, bed and breakfast, and lots of great entertainment with some of your favourite acts in Irish country music. Don't delay and book today by contacting Country Music Tours on 074 9119 955 or email info@countrymusictours.ie. Don't miss out on the holiday of a lifetime.
It's your lucky day. Get ready for the St. Patrick's sale at Easy Living Furniture. Absolutely everything's reduced across all departments, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and home accessories. There's no better time to prepare your home for spring. Shop the St. Patrick's sale this bank holiday weekend at Easy Living Furniture and get the furniture you've been dreaming of at prices that are hard to believe. Visit Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry.
The Nutria's Milk Replacer range, which includes NutriStart and NutriStart Plus, offers the best start for your calves this spring season with 23% and 25% crude proteins, ideal for calf to beef and heifer rearing systems. Give your calves the best possible start. Available at your local Homeland store or online at homeland.ie. Visit nutrius.ie for full nutritional information.
Get the Irish Daily Star for your daily Cheltenham pullout, plus free €3 Paddy Power Bet. We've the inside scoop from the track with Brian Flanagan, plus top tipsters to get you first past the post. All this week in your Irish Daily Star. Conditions apply. See paper for details. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
Building, renovating or upgrading your home? The Inishowen Co-op Home Build event is back on March 22nd with a new edition for 2025, the Energy Efficiency Hub. Meet over 50 exhibitors showcasing the latest in retrofitting, solar panels, construction, windows, doors, paints, flooring and more. Join us Saturday, March 22nd at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel, Buncrana from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for expert talks, virtual reality home design and photo with the Dulux dog. Check out Facebook for details. See you there.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us The Euro Millions jackpot is an estimated €160 million. Play responsibly in-store, in-app or at lottery.ie. The National Lottery. It could be you.
Okay, so we've been reflecting a little on Micheál Martin's meeting yesterday with Donald Trump, and prior to that, J.D. Vance. The general perception or reflection in the papers today is that it went all right. Stuart, what's your view? Good morning to you.
Yeah, it went all right. It went to the script. I would say is it scripted this last 6 months because there was no mention of anything. He keeps saying that he speaks for the people of Ireland. He hasn't a clue. He doesn't. Like, they keep saying that this is good for Ireland and this is for Ireland, and even the Taoiseach mentioned about the building and houses that we can't keep up to it. Like, and that's because how successful a country we are, supposedly. But I'm very disappointed that he didn't bring up Gaza. I would say he was probably told beforehand that if you bring it up, you'll be put out the front door. I mean, he never highlighted anything. I mean, there's what, 12 days there now with any food going on, and the borders are closed. And our press hasn't mentioned it. Like BBC, RTE, CNN, all these big stations, they're all just sitting behind a curtain. They're not allowed to speak.
It really is quite remarkable at this day and age, and you'd wonder why, that cutting off food supplies and cutting off electricity into that area, especially given...
Even water.
And water, sorry, I beg your pardon, you're right, Stuart. It really is remarkable that it is now either being buried or that impact on regular people's lives is so insignificant that it gets very into media
in
coverage.
Ukraine and Russia. I mean, there's definitely a split here in people's colour. If you're a white European, I mean, it's pure. It's as if these people are, and the way they talk about them as dogs, and they talk about them as animals, and they talk about them. There's a name they have that's even lower than that the Zionists use for these people. It's not. I mean, it wouldn't happen in any other country in South America, North America. It just wouldn't be allowed to happen. And in the British Parliament yesterday, Keir Starmer stood up and he said, "Oh, it was terrible what was happening." Quite. And then they signed an agreement for sending more parts for F-16 bombers. Like, why can't Keir Starmer?
There has to be a international perception that the lives of non-Hamas innocent Palestinians are worth less than Ukrainians. They're worth less than North Americans. They're worth less than Europeans.
Than anybody.
And like, that has to be the case, because as you quite rightly say, if this was Italy or if this were France or Portugal or Spain or anywhere else, really, it would seem, except the Middle East or in that region of the world, it would be completely unacceptable. But Israel seems to be able to do this and still enjoy great relationships with Britain, with Europe, with America. It really is. It's quite difficult to watch on and see.
I even have my own doubts about our own politicians. I really do, about our own top politicians, because the whole thing about signing this territories bill, they had to change it to put it on hold. They put it on hold. Why did they put it on hold? It took years to get that bill through in the first place, as far as where it is. And then before the elections, they said, we'll sign it. And then when the elections was going on, they said, we're not going to sign it. The whole thing needs re-amended. That could take 2 years to re-amend that bill.
Well, Israel did threaten Ireland over the back of that bill.
Yes, but Israel threatens everybody. It comes all the way down. Even Epstein could be. He was a Mossad or an Israeli intelligence. And like, he was gathering information and photographs and images. And Trump's on that island as well as everybody else. And not just the island. They have been.
Can I just give listeners a bit of a bit of background on that? The Epstein files, which catalogue a lot of Epstein's activities and his flights and all that type of stuff. The Trump administration committed to releasing them in their entirety. They were released in drips and drabs to very Trump-friendly bloggers and reporters. It has to be said. That's not controversial. That's a fact. Then it was committed that all of the files would be released, and then the Trump administration then said that some of it would be withheld for national security. And still now, after this big commitment, and the JFK files were the same as well, by the way, all of a sudden now the Epstein files, if released, are going to be very heavily redacted, and there is speculation that the reason they're going to be redacted has got nothing to do with national security. It's because of some of the names that are on them. So really, it's a little bit more of the same, just under a different administration in the United States. Have I framed that all right? I think that's...
It's espionage, like, it's all espionage. And, like, how a country, if you walk into the White House now, there's an Israeli flag, and children, they're trying to get children in school now in the morning, as well as saying that they stand for America, they say their national anthem, or they say whatever they do, they have to commit allegiance to Israel as the next thing on the agenda.
But Stuart, no more than people think it's terrible to see collective responsibility imposed on the people of Gaza. You know, all Palestinians effectively, tens of thousands wiped out, more being starved out of it. That people are critical of that, and I think quite rightly so. Obviously, should we be so critical of Israel? Should we be so critical of Israel as a whole because of the actions of Benjamin Netanyahu?
It's a Zionist setup, like, it's all to do with Zionism.
Everyone
is there, though. Israel, and they're not going to stop. Like, people don't realise Israel's in Syria at the minute, and they have thousands of troops in Syria. They're in the Lebanon at the minute. They wiped out Assad's regime, everything. There's no word about it. They blew up every airport and blew up all the planes, so that there was nothing. And that's...
Well, they got the okay to do that. They said that was to prevent... I mean, they got the okay for that. They said that was to prevent...
America would give them the okay to blow up Ireland. They would get the okay. No matter what he says, he's going to get the okay. He keeps pushing his boundaries, and he finds out, oh, that's okay. We'll go another step, and we'll go another step. We'll see how far we can push them. And it just seems to me that even in America, if you look back to the black people being freed to take buses and to vote and all that, it was all down to the campuses in America that they stood up and they refused to go to school until they stopped supporting apartheid and anything to do with apartheid. Now, this is what they're doing again. They're trying to stop anything that's to do with West Bank and everything. And now they've arrested people that are American citizens, telling them they're going to deport them. Deport them where? I don't know, because they're American citizens. And they've told them that they're supporters of Hamas. So they can't arrest them on anything else other than terrorist grounds. Now, these people are protesting peacefully, which is in the United States Constitution, and they're protesting quite rightly, legally, and now they're starting to arrest them and charge them for being members of a terrorist organisation thousands of miles away.
All right, but finally, Stuart, and this is the problem I have when countries or individuals or leaders take a moral high ground, because I think you're either on the moral high ground or you're not. And we probably didn't go far enough, but we took a harder stance against Israel than many did. But that being said, there maybe was an opportunity for Micheál Martin to, put a lot of people's concerns about Gaza to Trump. He didn't do that. I understand why he didn't do that, because, as I say, we've got one foot on the moral high ground, because really we're interested in our business and economic relationship with the United States. And, we're a little bit opposed to what they're doing if we're not actually going all in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but he has to speak. Like, the man says that he speaks for the people of Ireland. He absolutely doesn't.
He does. He was elected by 40% of the population that bothered to vote. They knew Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael's mandate, and they voted him in.
His party was elected, not him.
But that's how it works.
He wasn't elected.
He was
by
the lead. I understand when people sort of try and break democracy down like this, Stuart, but that's the way it is. People who voted for Fianna Fáil knew who the leader was and knew what that party stood for. They knew what Sinn Féin were offering, and they didn't think, right, we don't want to go down that route. We prefer to return Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to power. That's the will of the people.
Yeah, but Stuart, they didn't get in on their own. Now you have to remember. Now there's a clatter of independents that have, that have gone back.
I take what you.
They have gone back on what they promised their people, and they're in government, but they're in opposition, which never happened as well. Like, I mean, we're not going to go down that route at the minute, but I mean, back to the water and the food and that there, like, that should have been mentioned yesterday, and I'm disgusted and appalled that he never put his foot down yesterday. He was terrified. He was just sitting like a wee nodding dog in your car, laughing.
I know that's how you frame it, but I mean, at the end of the day, nothing was done to damage Ireland as a whole in terms of its relationships with America. But take
Trump
your point.
did say 200. He was going to tax us 200%. Did you hear that bit?
I did. But he also said he didn't want to do any damage to Ireland, and his issue was mainly with
Ireland's nothing to America. Nothing.
Well, that's why we might escape. I get you. Listen, Stuart, good to speak to you. Thank you very much indeed. A caller says, just for your information, Canada still hasn't conceded a thing to Trump's threats. The raising and dropping of tariffs is just him trying to scare them. It's not working, and him backing down again, but he can't back down completely with tariffs or he'd look weak to his base. I generally try not to say something unless I kind of know it to be true. And my understanding is, and in fact it is a fact, that Ontario's Premier Doug Ford, he suspended a surcharge which was proposed on the province's electricity exports to Michigan, to New York and to Minnesota. So Doug Ford did roll back himself on the surcharge on power into those 3 states, those 3 areas. So as I say, I do try and not say something unless I have a fair idea that it is close to the truth. Trump doesn't like Rosie O'Donnell because of her highlighting the crime of male sexual violence towards women. He likes Conor McGregor because of his attitude towards sexual violence against women. There is a very obvious link here. As the Bible says, by their deeds you shall know them. If Micheál Martin was concerned about the loss of so many young lives in the Russia-Ukraine war, why is he hell-bent on getting rid of the triple lock and potentially sending our soldiers, our children and grandchildren to their deaths in foreign wars? Martin must have 2 tongues to spout the speech to suit the people he's trying to impress, so some of it must be untrue, says the listener. Why did Micheál Martin not bring up the subject of military jets refueling at Shannon? That would have silenced Trump. Well, I mean, obviously the delegation went in there. What was going to be discussed was agreed in advance, and it was a case of just passing it off. We just don't live in a day and age anymore where there's just a photo of 2 people with a bowl of shamrocks and that's it. You know, the public themselves are scrutinising everything, and some of the media are as well. So it's the art, in inverted commas, of diplomacy. Micheál Martin behaved like a leader and a politician, says the listener. Why talk about another country that's got nothing to do with us, while at the stroke of a pen he could put tariffs on every business we have, which could lead to the loss of 50,000 jobs here. And there's much more employed, 250,000, I believe, in foreign direct investment companies. Micheál Martin did a great job yesterday of playing the game with a leader who's unpredictable. He looked after his own country, which is probably how I framed it at the beginning of the show. But we've got different views here, and we love that because they're always expressed respectfully, and it's good. Everyone's view has a right to be platformed. Okay, back with the weather shortly.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Want to keep your brain and eyes at their best? Try Remind, the super strength omega-3 supplement backed by Irish science. Remind's unique formula with carotenoids and 900 milligrams of omega-3s delivers essential nutrients for brain and vision health. And to see how your nutrient levels measure up, try the Life Meter scan. Available this April at Healthwise pharmacies. In just 1 minute, a quick fingertip scan provides valuable health insights. Book your free Life Meter test and support your brain and eyes with Remind.
Beef price boom continues. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, find out what's driving beef quotes closer to €8 per kilo. Red hot mart prices see farmers rein in cattle buying. IFA demands new acres interim payment. Farmer fears over rewetting to the fore. Don't miss our step-by-step guide to check if you have peat soils that fall under Gay Act 2. And we examine if the vacant house grant is pushing up the cost of building works. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal, on sale now.
Are you on the hunt for a reliable car that offers exceptional value for money? At iMotors, we have a huge range of 2024 nearly new Nissan models available. Whether it's petrol, hybrid or fully electric, Nissan has a 2024 model that suits your lifestyle. All our nearly new Nissans come with low mileage and are prepared by our expert team. Visit us today at imotors.ie to find out more.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Irwin Expert Electrical, your trusted destination for all things home appliances, electrical and entertainment in the Northwest. With over 50 years of leading the way, we pride ourselves on offering a diverse range of products under one roof. From top brands like LG, Samsung, Cooker, Bosch, Apple and more, take advantage of our free layaway service where you can store your new items until you're ready for them. Perfect for renovations and new build projects. Visit Irwin Expert Electrical today in Letterkenny or Buncrana.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So, the weather forecast is as follows. Mostly dry this morning apart from some isolated showers. Cloud will increase through the day and will bring some further showers towards evening. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees with a light to moderate northerly or variable breeze. Tomorrow we are giving away €9,000. We've got 9 €1,000 cash prizes to give out during the course of tomorrow, kicking off just before 11 and then every hour up until 8 o'clock. Tickets are just a tenner. So if you want to be in 9 draws for €1,000 and enjoying much greater odds than you might winning the same amount of money elsewhere, then you can get your tickets right now. The website, highlandradio.com. You'll see there. It's very safe. It's very secure. And all your details are kept very secure, as you can imagine. So you buy one ticket, you're in all 9 draws. That's it, right? I don't know how many people will buy tickets once the first draw has taken place. So really, if you want to be in all the draws, now's the time. You've got today and a bit of tomorrow, right, to make sure you're in all 9 draws. You can just sit back, relax, and see if your number comes out. You'll have €1,000 in your pocket for the St. Patrick's Day weekend. Now, the nice part of all of this, although that's lovely enough, is that it's all to raise money for 3 great charities. You've heard about it all week. You've seen it on our social media. You may have watched the live between me and Lee Gooch last night. Whatever way you've heard it at this point, we're supporting Huey's Corner, who offer counselling and supports to bereaved children or children who've gone through very difficult things in their lives. They do essential, important work. The Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation working with people of varying abilities to maximise their potential in their life, in their social circles, getting into the workforce, all that kind of stuff. Great work they do, working with hundreds of people out of Donegal Town primarily. And of course, Donegal Cancer Flights and Services, run by a great group of individuals of the community for the community, helping people get to and from far-reaching cancer treatment programs, Dublin, Galway, etc. They are there for people. And we've had a wonderful response to this all week because, you know what, you're lovely, generous people. And we just want to give it the last couple of pushes. So if you can afford a tenner, and if you would like potentially to win €1,000 and have 9 chances to do so, please get onto our website right now, highlandradio.com, and buy your tickets to make sure that you're in all draws tomorrow. Don't leave it till tomorrow morning. Listen, we'll get a lot of people sorted in the morning if that's the way it is. But today is an opportunity to get your ticket. It's just a tenner, 2 cups of coffee or whatever it might be, and you're supporting 3 great charities and potentially winning some lovely cash. Now, if you don't want to use the website for whatever reason, you can give us a call here at the radio station right now, 074 91 25,000, and our crew will process your purchase for you, email out the ticket number. There's no answering phone calls, there's no 5 rings, there's none of that malarkey. Your number comes out and you can be on Timbuktu, and when you get back from Timbuktu, you have your €1,000, okay? Bad phone reception in Timbuktu, I'm told. And also, if you want to do cash, and lots of people calling in, it's great to see them, call up to reception here at Highland Radio and we'll sort you out that way too. So please, if you are inclined to do so, get it done today. Then you're in all 9 draws and your €10 is going to be split amongst those 3 amazing charities. Please be as generous as you can. Back with more after the news and obituary notices.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Imagine a wedding venue that can be hired exclusively for you and your guests. Picture stunning views overlooking one of Donegal's most scenic beaches, an authentic country manor as your accommodation, incredible glass-fronted marquee views all day, and a team of experts who want to help you plan every step of the way. Sounds too good to be true? Not at Drumhalla House in Rathmullen. It really has to be seen to be believed. Visit drumhallahouse.ie or check out Drumhalla House on Instagram for more details.
At Charlie's in Letterkenny, they've been serving great food since 1984 to sit in and take away. Everything is cooked to order, so if you're having an all-day breakfast, a burger, or some of their renowned fish and chips, you'll know it's been freshly prepared. And there's a great selection of gluten-free options. Home-cooked food in the heart of Letterkenny at Charlie's. Open Tuesdays to Saturdays, 12 to 8 on the Pierce Road. When the hunger hits, pull into Charlie's.
Thinking of changing your floors? Why not see what Florid Letterkenny has to offer? Florid have a large selection of solid, semi-solid and laminate click vinyl wood flooring, together with a fantastic choice of parquet, herringbone flooring, all at incredible value. Don't delay. Call Florid today on 087 161 7008.
The Power of Choice Spring Sales event is happening now at Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Test drive our wide range of hybrids, plug-in hybrids and the fully electric BZ4X and see why Toyota is Ireland's best-selling car brand again this year. There's flexible payment options and incredible offers, including our biggest Power Up booster of up to €3,000, available until the 15th of March. At Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply. Best-selling claim based on latest published monthly figures.
Fast track your interest with PTSB's Interest First Fixed Term Deposit Account. The only deposit account in Ireland that gives you your interest upfront within the first month of opening your account. And with the peace of mind that your savings are secure for the future, it all comes together for a banking experience that's altogether more human. PTSB. Book an appointment today. Personal customers only. Early withdrawal and closure fees apply. Minimum deposit of €5,000 required. Terms and conditions apply. Permanent TSB PLC, trading as PTSB, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Join us today for the Jive Time Show with David James, live from Letterkenny Shopping Centre from 2:30 to 5. Come along and get your tickets for our 35th birthday charity draw, where we're giving away €1,000 every hour from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday. Not only will you be in with a chance to win, but you'll also be supporting 3 amazing charities.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. 2 newly elected councillors have voiced frustration at what they say is a lack of progress in the Defective Concrete Block Committee since their election last June. At the most recent meeting, councillors Martin Scanlon and Ali Farron both expressed concern that little has been achieved to date. Councillor Ali Farron of the 100% Redress Party specifically highlighted his frustration at what he said is the difficulty in obtaining answers to questions.
We were rookie councillors coming in, and we knew that there had been 14 years of inactivity, for want of a better word, in my opinion. And we felt that if we got elected, we could raise the profile and raise the issues. And I think we're doing that to a degree. But it's the questions are still falling on deaf ears elsewhere in this country, namely around Dublin. And we're not getting the answers.
Donegal County Council is to seek a meeting with Gardaí to discuss the use of e-scooters in Letterkenny on foot of motions at an MD meeting this week from councillors Jimmy Kavanagh and Jerry McMonigal. Officials outlined the bylaws regarding the use of e-scooters, including a ban on their use on footpaths and the carrying of passengers. They say the enforcement of those bylaws is a matter for Gardaí. Councillor Kavanagh says discussions are necessary to ensure that what could be a very positive resource in cutting down traffic congestion is used properly.
It's not a matter of trying to drive an e-bike off the road. We don't want to do that. Obviously, as you're aware, we're trying our best to get more cars off the road, and e-bikes are part of that solution. We need to have it done in a way that the rules of the road are being obeyed. We do want to see them used. It's great for students, for example, great for anyone that's living in the town and working in the town, and it can help with getting traffic down. But it needs to be done properly, and it's not been done properly at the moment.
Donegal County Council, in conjunction with the Schlieve Lee Company, is holding a non-statutory public consultation In a bid to enhance the visitor experience at Slieve League, the cliffs, towering 601 metres above the Atlantic Ocean, have become a very popular tourist attraction. With more, here's Donna Marie Doherty.
Slieve League is designated as one of the discovery points along the Wild Atlantic Way. However, the existing viewing platform located on the Slieve League View Walk currently falls short of visitor expectations. It's a basic timber structure requiring ongoing maintenance to remain operational. Plans are now in place to rebuild the platform, providing a safer and more comfortable experience for all visitors, with funding from Fáilte Ireland under the Shared Island Programme for Government. Any replacement platform will necessitate a careful consideration of materials and design to minimise the impact on the highly sensitive environment. A non-statutory public consultation is now underway, providing members of the public with an opportunity to review the proposed scheme and submit comments via the Council's online consultation portal. Alternatively, an in-person event will be held at the Slieve League Experience and Visitor Centre this Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30. Final submissions are due by April 2nd.
There are calls for a deposit return scheme that could be used at home. It would work via an app and unique barcodes on bins and bottles. The Irish Waste Management Association says it would have saved €80 million a year if it had been brought in from the start, and Secretary Conor Walsh believes it could still be introduced now.
The DRS works for cylindrical objects, but it won't work for shampoo bottles and for bleach bottles, washing up bottles. There's all sorts of bottles, pots, tubs, trays, yogurt. There's lots of stuff around the house, and you can't put those in reverse vending machines because they're not cylindrical, they don't spin around. So you have to do something different if you want to go down the road, trying to capture more of those materials.
The application process for people seeking international protection here is taking an average of 18 months. The Department of Justice says the average time for a standard application now is 81 weeks. However, the Migrant and Refugee Rights Organisation, NASC, says applications involving appeals can take up to 3 years. Chief Executive Fiona Hurley says it's important that the application system is fair and allows people access to legal advice.
We're concerned about a dialogue that just focuses on speed or efficiency and overlooks whether the system is actually fair and just and properly resourced for the people that are going through it. I think there's a risk when we focus just on the kind of bureaucratic elements that we risk losing out on the human elements behind each application.
Weather forecast dry this morning apart from some isolated showers, cloud increasing through the day, bringing some further shower towards evening. It'll be 6 to 9 degrees Celsius highest temperatures today, light to moderate northerly or variable winds. Tonight cold with clear spells, isolated showers at first, cloud increasing from the northwest as a band of showers move in with a few sleet showers possible on hills, frost forming in some areas, temperatures falling between -1 and +3 degrees Celsius in a light and variable winds. It'll become mostly dry and sunny tomorrow with showers quickly clearing southwards. Top temperatures on Friday 7 to 9 degrees Celsius, light to moderate east to northeast winds. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 11 o'clock. Check all the latest news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
The obituary notices this Thursday morning, March 13th. The death has taken place of Anne McLaughlin Owen, Convent Road, Carndonagh, and formerly of Glengad. Anne's remains will leave Eamon McLaughlin's funeral home, Station Road, Carndonagh, today at 2 o'clock to repose at the Oratory, Conley Homes, Mallintown, from 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock, and tomorrow from 12 noon until 9 p.m. Funeral from there on Saturday at 10:30 for 11 a.m. funeral mass in St Patrick's Church, Clay, followed by private cremation. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired, to Carndonagh Community Hospital, care of any family member or Eamon McLaughlin Funeral Director. The death has occurred of Ursula McGlinchey, née Henry, Breffney, Gort Lee Letterkenny, formerly of Maryville, Sligo. House strictly private at the request of the deceased. Funeral Mass at 12 noon on Saturday in the Church of the Irish Martyrs Ballyrain, Letterkenny, which can be viewed online on the Church of Irish Martyrs YouTube channel, followed by burial in Conwall Cemetery. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if wished to Ramelton Community Hospital, care of Pascal Blake Funeral Director. The death has occurred of Breege Bradley, late of 25, Lissamon Court Derry, and formerly of Drumcannon Crossroads, Killygordon, reposing at the family home in Drumcannon today from 12 noon. Funeral from the family home on Saturday at 10:30 for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. The Mass can be viewed via the parish webcam. Family time, please, on the morning of the funeral. A shuttle bus service will be in operation today and tomorrow from Glenealy School between 5 and 10 o'clock. The death has taken place of Jean Annie Stevenson, nee Stuart Clocker, Killygordon. Her remains are reposing at her home. House private to family and close friends only, please. Everyone is welcome to join the family for a service of thanksgiving in Donamore Presbyterian Church tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Family flowers only, donations in lieu if desired to the Haematology Unit, Letterkenny University Hospital and the Donegal Hospice. That's in care of any family member or Terence McClintock, Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Annie McLaughlin, Baskill, Glenealy. Her remains are reposing at her daughter Catherine's home. Removal from there this morning at 10:30 to St Mary's Church, Bocken, Kildaff for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass, followed by burial in the adjoining graveyard. Requiem Mass can be viewed on churchmedia.tv. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu, if desired, to Friends of Inishowen Hospice, care of any family member or Kelly Funeral Directors. Family time, please, this morning. The death, Bannon Ross Cullion, Cornagill, Letterkenny. Reposing at his late home, Ross Cullion, Cornagill, Letterkenny, from 12 noon until 9 o'clock today. Funeral Mass at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning in the Church of the Irish Martyrs, Ballyrain, Letterkenny, which can be viewed on the parish YouTube channel. Family time only, please, on the morning of the funeral. Private family cremation later. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu, if wished, to the Donegal Hospice and Irish Cancer Society, care of Pascal Blake, Funeral Director, or any family member. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio. Wherever you start, however big you grow, An Post Commerce is here for your business. With the Advantage card, you save on every stamp you stick and every parcel you send. So wherever you are right now, get your Advantage card at onpost.com or at your local post office. An Post Commerce, a world closer. Terms and conditions apply.
You're very welcome back. We're into the second hour of the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. How are you all keeping? I do hope you're very well for this Thursday. I know for a lot of people, it's going to be a really busy working week and a long weekend, between Saturday, Sunday and St. Patrick's Day on Monday. It's a public holiday for many of us, so hopefully for those of you that can get out and about and have fun, please do. Now, there's lots of events taking place on Sunday and Monday, and we want to give you an opportunity, if you've organised them for your community, to give them a plug here on the 9 till noon show. So if you have an event that's organised for Sunday or Monday, or Saturday for that matter, to do with the public holiday weekend, we want to support you in the organising committee and give it a shout out, maybe get a few extra people to support your great efforts. Please get in touch with us. 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number, or give us a call on 07491 25,000, or indeed if you want to send a voice message explaining it, do. We can play that out as well. But as I say, it's just to give things a mention. We might do that tomorrow if there's enough of you that would find that a benefit to you. Greg, can you ask, if a tree in a private garden hangs out over the road ready to fall, who's responsible? It's a toughie, isn't it? I mean, we're responsible, are we not, for the trees and hedges on our property? I mean, ultimately it has to be our responsibility as a private owner. So I'd imagine it's us. I'm thinking if it was in an urban environment, with people walking on footpaths, it is the landowner's responsibility, is it not, to cut the hedge back to ensure it doesn't take someone's eyes? I imagine it's the same on rural roads as well, although I'm not stating that as a fact and very much open to correction. Greg, we were driving last night on Glencar Road. We met a man in black clothes jogging on the road footpath on the other side. Jogging on the road, sorry. There was a footpath on the other side of the road. If we were going fast, he would have been knocked down. Do people think of nothing of their lives, nothing reflective on them at all. We got a fright as it could have been worse. So that's someone jogging in black on the Glencar Road, jogging on the road, even though the caller says there was a footpath on the other side. It is very much taking one's life into their own hands, isn't it? Right, now there's a couple of things I want to mention. And some of it's on my phone, but messages have been very busy of late with different things, so I'll try and find that. Hi, could anyone with an iota of knowledge of the traffic chaos currently at the Polestar roundabout not consider this much worse, or how much worse the situation will become if the road in front of the Mount Ergel Hotel is narrowed? I sometimes query the competence of our engineers. I have in the past witnessed changes to road junctions which made the junction more dangerous than they were previously. The junction at Tully Earl is a prime example indeed, and it was argued black and blue that was going to be absolutely grand, but as it turns out they had to change it again. Now, Drink Tea for MND takes place this Saturday, the 15th of March, and it is, and I'll zoom in here. So, the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association, MNDA, is 40 years old this year, and a family, the family of John Given, who very sadly passed away down from my part of the country, it's his 10th anniversary. So they're having a fundraising tea party for their dad's 10-year anniversary, and they're inviting people to go along to drink tea for MND. It's between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, the 15th of March, and it's at the Church of Ireland Parish Hall in Donegal Town. So if you can get along to that, please do. And if you've got 5 cent, if you've got 50 cent, if you've got a fiver, it doesn't matter. I'm just reading the blurb here. What matters is that IMNDA, as a life-saving help to families who have someone with a motor neuron disease in their household. The IMNDA's main source of income is from donations such as this. Let's help to keep them going. That's coming in from the Given family, obviously marking the 10th anniversary of their dad's passing, John, but also marking 40 years of the IMNDA. Right, so if you're down around Donegal Town, if you're listening in, drop in to the Church of Ireland Parish Hall, Donegal Town, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, the 15th of March. Now, let the shenanigans begin. It's Relay for Life. It's at St Mary's Hall, Buncrana on Sunday, the 16th of March from 3 to 5 p.m. Come along and enjoy a cuppa with fashion, music, song and dance. Doesn't that sound like fun in St Mary's Hall? It's on Sunday, the 16th of March from 3 to 5 p.m. Admission is just a £5. Everybody is welcome. St Mary's Hall, Buncrana, Sunday between 3 and 5 p.m. There's one other thing I wanted to mention. Let me see, where is it? Here we are. Buncrana's children's charity are looking for maybe 2 or 3 adults to carry a banner in the Maville Parade. They're struggling for volunteers. If you're interested in helping out, please reach out to Adrian McMyler. We've got his number here. It's not much to ask. Rather than watching the parade, get in that parade in Maville. Right, is that the Maville Parade that they put out the statue every year to make sure it doesn't rain, and it hasn't rained in a million years? I think it might be. Right, okay, so just before the break, to remind you, if you've got a parade or an event, a community-based event or parade running Sunday or Monday or Saturday for that matter, get in touch with us here. We'll gather them all together and I'll give them a good mention either today or tomorrow. So let us know. Maybe you've switched your St. Patrick's Parade from Monday to Sunday and maybe not everyone knows about it. And we've lots of people listening. Thank the Lord. We've lots of people listening to this show and this station, and we can help you get the message out just to say a thank you for what you're doing. All right, bingo numbers are on the way. It's jackpot day. Who's going to win? Hopefully you.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Thursday, the 13th of March. Jackpot day. You're playing for the jackpot prize of €10,800 on the pink sheet. The reference number is S14. It's game number 11. The jackpot number is 26. This number can come out in any position from the next 10 numbers drawn. And now, here are your daily numbers. 16, 89, 28, 59, 61, 7, 62, 90, 14, and finally 9. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Who's watching your home while you're asleep, at work, or on holiday? With the Sheridan Security Alarm System, you can be assured of round-the-clock monitoring. Our central monitoring station is on duty 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, monitoring homes and businesses in the northwest for intruder, fire, panic, and medical signals, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. Sheridan Security Systems, Bonagee, Letterkenny, protecting what you value most. Call us for a free quotation on 9126. 6025.
It's your lucky day. Get ready for the St. Patrick's sale at Easy Living Furniture. Absolutely everything's reduced across all departments, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and home accessories. There's no better time to prepare your home for spring. Shop the St. Patrick's sale this bank holiday weekend at Easy Living Furniture and get the furniture you've been dreaming of at prices that are hard to believe. Visit Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry.
The Nutria's Milk Replacer range, which includes NutriStart and NutriStart Plus, offers the best start for your calves this spring season with 23% and 25% crude proteins, ideal for calf to beef and heifer rearing systems. Give your calves the best possible start. Available at your local Homeland store or online at homeland.ie. Visit nutrius.ie for full nutritional information.
When it's time for confirmation or first communion, it's time for a trip to Watson Menswear in Letterkenny. Choose from a great selection of top label, casual and formal wear. Suits with matching shirts and ties. Blazers, jackets and shirts. Also denims, chinos and footwear from big names like Diesel, Cavani and Tommy Bow. Stand out on the big day at Watson Menswear. Open 7 days a week on Main Street, Letterkenny. And online at watsonmenswear.com.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
And a big thanks actually to Letterkenny Credit Union, who are key sponsors of this show as well. It's great to have them on board. Right, I'm in studio now with Christopher. Hi, Christopher.
How are you, Greg?
I'm all right. And it's kind of interesting in, perhaps the most impactful thing in your life can be summed up in one sentence. You came to Letterkenny for an education and left an alcoholic. I mean, it doesn't tell anything of the story, yet it tells all of the story too at the same time in just those few simple words.
Yeah.
When did you come to Letterkenny?
I came to Letterkenny when I was 19. I had just finished the Leaving Cert. I had to actually repeat the Leaving Cert because during the first time my father had passed away. I was 18 years old, so repeated, and then I came to Letterkenny.
Young age do you lose your dad?
Yeah, my father was also young. He was only 35. My parents had me very young.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my father was only 35 when he passed away.
And originally from Monaghan, I should say as well.
Came up from Monaghan this morning.
So that was an awful lot already for you. And I should mention, by the way, that Christopher also spoke recently on the excellent V&M podcast about his mental health, alcoholism and recovery as well. So if you want even more of it, you can listen to V&M podcast too, where Christopher spoke. But I know, Christopher, you're keen to reach as many people as possible in all different formats, and that's why we're delighted to speak to you. So why did you choose Letterkenny? It just suited where you wanted to go for your education, is it?
It was, I see, at that moment, whenever I was in my CAO, I seen multimedia. And I was thinking, right, media, get myself on TV, because I'm fluent in Irish, as I get myself on TG Cahir. But multimedia, it was a total different ballgame. It was all to do with computers, and he said I didn't realise that going in. I just picked the first thing that I seen.
I mean, I know that could be easy done. What kind of a fellow were you? Were you a shy 18-year-old, good at communicating, good at mixing with people? Did you sort of relish the opportunity to move away from home, or were you pushing sort of against maybe what you're holding yourself back? I don't know.
Like, looking back, I think it was just to get away from Monaghan.
Yeah.
Like, if you know what I mean, because that's where all my kind of troubles were, like my father passing and all. Get away as far as possible. And I was a grand 18, 19-year-old. Like, I was out there when I had a few drinks in me, and then kind of shy of myself then whenever I didn't, obviously, yeah.
So when did things, after you moved to Letterkenny, when did things sort of start going downhill for you?
They started going downhill once I moved back to Monaghan. My drink started getting more serious, and in the meantime, like, I had a girlfriend and I was with her for about 2.5, 3 years, and she ended up ending it with me for the sheer fact because I was going down a bad path, and then my drink kind of got worse from there because I was by myself.
Yeah, in Letterkenny.
In Monaghan.
In Monaghan.
Yeah, when I
and what
moved
was
back.
your drinking behaviour like in Letterkenny?
It was still the same thing, like drinking every day. Like I wasn't at the stage of waking up for a drink, but I was at the stage of just going out every evening, just kind of binge drinking, and just not going to lectures. Like I failed completely. Yeah.
Tough, a tough old thing for you to deal with up here. And I'll just say before we move on that Christopher's had a really tough time and had a really tough time, and that also led him to trying to take his own life. So we'll discuss that, and we will also, of course, provide any support numbers that you might need if this conversation does affect you. But I'm just telling you in advance that will form part of this conversation, and we can't hide away things. We can't hide parts of stories because sometimes they're the most critical parts of stories. So just be conscious of that, that you've got forewarning if that is okay. Did you think booze was, because you're dealing with you were dealing with the loss of your dad, right? And other stuff going on. Were you drinking? Can you reflect that now? And were you drinking to get away from that? Were you constantly? Did you try and get away from Monaghan because that's where all the sadness was? And then when that sadness didn't necessarily disappear, did you use alcohol to mask that? It might be different as an 18-year-old as we might see, if we were talking to a 30-year-old. Or did you just like a drink?
No, it was, you see, at my father's wake, I remember just like at any Irish wake, you kind of have a few drinks overnight. And obviously feeling a bit sad, but then kind of once the drink was in me and I had a few more drinks, that kind of pain was subsiding. So I was thinking to myself, hey, I found a new trick here to kind of push it down and kind of not deal with it. So I think that's where the drinking came from.
And what happens too, and this is the problem with alcohol, the ups might help, but the downs are twice as bad, if not more.
Oh yeah.
After the drink wears off, and then what do? You try and get rid of that pain, and you go and have a drink.
Yeah.
And then you feel good.
Circle.
And I could do this for a year.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's happening. Isn't it? And lots of people do that in different ways. I don't want to skip across important stuff. So, Christopher, I want you to mention stuff even if I don't ask a question on. But, I mean, is that Letterkenny sorted and we're back to Monaghan now? Or is there more about your time in Letterkenny? And it could have been anywhere in the country, I presume. Is there more about Letterkenny that you want to talk about?
I love Letterkenny.
Yeah, okay.
Honest to God, even after I was 2 years sober, I moved back to Letterkenny.
Yeah.
And I thought that quite funny because, like, this is where I see where my drink started.
Right.
It was just happenstance that my drink started here. And I was going back into the belly of the beast. And I moved up here with the girlfriend and ended up getting a job up here. I was working in the Mount Errigal for a long time.
Brilliant.
And then I was working in Lucas. And in my time in Letterkenny, I went to Killybegs. And I got myself my chef papers.
Brilliant stuff.
So
well done.
I took advantage of everything.
Isn't it interesting? That really this story kind of starts with you running away from stuff?
Yeah.
And your path to where you are now is walking into things.
Oh yeah.
And facing those spaces that, as a late teen, you were kind of avoiding. So what age were you? So you came up here when you were 18. What age did you go back to Monaghan at?
So I was about 19 or 20. I went back to Monaghan. And then I done the biggest amounts of my drinking there.
Yeah, the Letterkenny experiment didn't work for you between circumstance, access to alcohol, and what have you. So that had an aggregated effect on you, I presume. When you went back to Monaghan, had your girlfriend broken up with you at that stage, or was that to come?
That was to come. That was when I was around 23.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And
so you were excessively drinking in those early 20s years as well?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
And just in the midst of all the drinking, just pushing family away and, like, just burning bridges with all family members. And, like, I will be honest in saying, for her own sanity, Mum had to put me out of the house.
Yeah.
So, and I had nowhere to go. So it was kind of living on friends' couches.
What was your pattern of drinking 19, 20, 21, 22?
Every day. Like, even on my CV, it's quite funny. Like, you'll see all the jobs that I have. And then 2017, when I got sober, it's more steady.
Yeah.
Because it was just going into work either hungover or sometimes going into work drunk.
Yeah.
Like leaving work and then going straight to the pub, drinking till the next morning, and then getting a shower and going into work, stinking a drink. But I just didn't know, like myself, I was unaware of myself that I was actually
You thought
stinking
you
a
were
drink.
functioning perfectly fine, did you?
Yeah, like a functioning alcoholic, yeah.
All right, and you mentioned having a child. Did you have a child in your early 20s? Is that what you were saying? Or
No,
was that
I don't have a
subsequent?
child,
Oh, right,
no.
okay. Sorry, I thought you said you come up here with your child. Right, okay,
No.
that's no problem. That's all right. It's not an accusation. It's all right. All right. So you're in Monaghan. Your drinking has got very much worse. It's having an impact on your friendships, because I think when people are around someone who drinks heavily, there's a period of time that you try and adjust that or try and influence that. And someone who's an alcoholic often will try and reject that or push you away. So you have a choice sometimes. You either stay friends with the person and accept them as an alcoholic, or you have to take a step back and often sort of look after yourself because the person just is not for listening.
Yeah.
Do you think that's kind of what it was like for you with your friends groups and family?
Yeah, a lot of people had to take a step back, because I will be honest in saying, like, with my alcohol, I was never like abusive or anything, but words that I would use and stuff that I would use on people would just cut them in two.
Yeah.
Like, it was even my own mother, like I blamed her for my alcoholism, just partly to do with the fact that I was raised.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was raised by a single mum. She'd done the best she could. She'd done a very good job.
Yeah.
I'm here today.
But I genuinely think that our brain is fantastic in working for us, Christopher, but I think in some ways it can work against us.
Yeah.
And I think, at that point, maybe your brain was saying, hold on a second, I want to keep Christopher drinking here.
Yeah.
So we need to get people who don't want that to happen away from him.
Yeah.
I actually really believe that the brain can work like that it works against you.
Yeah.
In that regard. And that's why I think sometimes people beat themselves up and how they've treated people, but often there's a good reason behind it. So at that point then, your mother's chucked you out, your relationships have worn down with lots and lots of people. So are you homeless? Are you couch surfing? What's going on?
Technically homeless. I went to my county council and I explained the situation, that I had nowhere to go, and they were able to provide me with a short-term kind of just staying in a B&B. But then once that ran out, it was just kind of on the streets. So like living in abandoned houses, or like meeting up with a friend and just, can I stay here tonight? There was sadly a lot of shame with it that came with it.
And what did it feel like waking up in an abandoned house? Did you try and justify it? Did you?
It was just, this is, like, in that moment, I just thought to myself, this is my life now. Like, this must be it.
And I think you've said it here, so I don't want to make sure I say something that's not the case, but did you kind of feel as well that, given family history, that you were almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you were always going to have a problem with drink, and that's just the way you were, and that was going to be your contribution to society?
Yeah. It was even, like, my father, as I said, died at 35, so I thought that was my expiry date as well.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm 33 now, and I'm excited to get to 36.
Yeah.
Just I know there's something, I've chatted to a few people about that.
I understand where you're coming from, actually.
To outlive that.
Well, also, you're going to be proving your younger self wrong.
Yeah, which I love doing.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
What was the low point? Does the low point come next? Had you tried to give up booze?
I had tried actually when I was 21. I was living with my grandmother, and I was off it for 8 months, and my grandmother had told me, if you're going to live with me in this house, you have to go to meetings. So I was going to meetings at 21, 22, and I wasn't ready. I was sitting in the meetings just kind of listening. Like, 33 years old, I look young now. Imagine what I look like at 21. I look like a baby going in. And it just wasn't my time, to be honest. Like, everyone has...
So were you bluffing it for 8 months?
Yeah, just to kind of live in my grandmother's house. And then after 8 months, I asked my grandmother, you don't mind if I go into the pub? I'm not going to drink. I went in on a Friday and
Well, you knew
home.
what you were doing.
I was home on the Monday,
Yeah.
and I went out on the Friday. Yeah, and that just kind of started it all again.
Yeah, and of course too, you reflect on the weekend your granny put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is tight. But they love us, and they're very forgiving. Our
she's
our
an amazing
families.
woman herself. Yeah.
Of course. So you're back on the booze then. Did it get worse? Was it the same pattern, the same cycle for the next couple of years?
It got worse. Like one thing I didn't mention on the podcast as well, I think I mentioned on the first one, was drink kind of goes hand in hand with the other, which is also drugs. So you'll have a few drinks and then you kind of go down that road as well. So I was kind of just at both of them, just to get as messed up and as far away from my own mind as possible. So I was drinking and then...
To some extent, were you numbed by the impact of drink and you needed to go up a level?
Yeah, that's what I was hitting for. Yeah.
Did you have any concern about whether you would come out of a session?
No.
You know what I mean? Did you consider the impacts of mixing drugs and alcohol, and maybe you could choke on your vomit in your sleep, you could pass out, and it didn't bother you at all?
Nope.
So you were worthless to yourself, really.
Yeah.
And you believed you were of no value.
Sadly, yeah. When you put it like that.
But you did.
Yeah,
but even but because that's how people feel.
Yeah.
And why that is wrong is that you've got so many people that are saying, I just wish he'd come back to us. I just wish we could reach him. I just wish we could make him better. You know, as parents, all you want to do is you would take anything from your child onto yourself if it mean they were okay. So whilst you might have felt like that, it couldn't have been further from the truth.
Yeah.
Really. If that's and then suicidal ideation. Is it something you were planning to kill yourself?
I was thinking about it for a while, because in my mind it was like, I'm not for this life, and like that's what I mean. It goes back to like waking up in abandoned houses, waking up with a horrible hangover, knowing that I was just going to do the same thing again, just not being able to see a way out, and this was my way out.
And you did attempt to take your own life?
Yes.
How long in advance of that were you thinking about it, planning it?
There was a few ideas 2 weeks leading up to it, and then
were you comfortable with the whole idea of it? Like, were you afraid? Were you like, this was okay, this was just something you were going to do, and devil me care?
It's something that I was going to do, and I was very comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
It actually, I've never even thought of that before. Thanks for actually bringing it, because I've never thought of the comfort of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was comfort in it because I knew that there would be no pain there anymore.
That was about you thinking about yourself. In those moments, did you consider the impact it would have on your granny, your friends, your mother?
Nope. Like, I've explained...
Like, did you say they will be okay, or they weren't even in the mind space?
In my mind, they will understand and they will be okay. Like, I've always...
Did you think you were doing them a favour?
Not really. I thought upon myself that I was doing myself a favour.
Yeah.
Like, I've always tried to explain suicide to people who don't understand being in that mindset, that if anyone out there has experienced like a toothache, like you have a toothache and it is killing you, it is hurting you, you want that tooth out, and you're not going to think, what's mum going to think if I have one less tooth?
Mm-hmm.
What's my grandmother, what's my brother going to think?
So everything in that moment is boiled down to you. And it's not about selfishness. It's not about lack of consideration. It's just literally you've been boiled down to the view that this is you, it's your experience, what you're having to live with, what you may not want to live with, and what you can do to address that.
Yeah, just wanting that pain to just stop.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I think that's an interesting insight to people who've lost people by suicide.
Yeah.
Because there are so many questions. Why did I not see the signs? Now, you're removed maybe from a space where people can see the signs, but you found yourself, and everyone's different, you found yourself just in that space that this was your plan, and it was about you, it was for you, it was to address you, and that's just the way it was at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what necessarily, how deep to go into this, is what is right or wrong. I have told people what we're talking about, and if it's, you know, we don't want to affect anyone in a negative way, but as I say, we did mention at the start, you planned it. You effectively tried to kill yourself.
Yes.
You wanted to listen to you wanted to do it in a certain place, a certain way, with a certain song.
Yeah.
What was the significance of that?
The song, the significance of it.
Yeah, just the fact that it would play out like that in your mind at that time. What was the significance of that?
So the significance of it was, I was going into a forest and I wanted to go out to a song, and it was Adele's song when we were young. I was listening to it coming up the road, and it was, I put it on loud and I put it on repeat for at least they could find me in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
Because Mum had known. I had went to Mum's house just beforehand, just to say goodbye, and just explained to her that I'm not for this world.
Mm-hmm.
And I went
Was
up
that a
into
cry
the
for
forest.
help, or was it a goodbye?
For me, it was a goodbye.
Okay. Was it the last ditch cry for help?
Yes. And I think unsubconsciously that's why the song was playing loud as well in the forest.
Mm-hmm. In case she came looking for you, or someone was sent to look for you.
Was looking for me, and my phone was full battery, and I just put the song on repeat so it would play over and over.
You unsuccessfully, thankfully, because you're here in front of us, tried to take your own life. You were discovered, were you?
Yes, by guards.
And was that good news, bad news at that time for you?
For me, it was bad news. The guards had shone the torch into my eye, and they had lifted me up and took me to the ambulance. And the paramedic in the back of the ambulance was telling me that I'm going to get better. And I told her that as soon as I'm out, I'm doing this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened next then? Did you? How did you come to continue? You know, did you continue drinking from there? Did you?
I was in the psychiatric unit for a week, and I was let out, and I went back on the drink. They tried to see what was wrong. They explained it to me that it might be a strong possibility that it is the drink, and I was like, no, what do they know? Even though they're doctors at the end of the day. But no, I convinced them that I was fine, and I was let out, and I went straight back on the drink. Yeah.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is.
Really, that's the power, the pull of drink. Up until this point, do you feel you were failed by the state? You know what I mean? Should you have been allowed out of that space? Because often, too, I think in a loss or a tragic loss, often we try and seek out fault or something, and I don't know why we do that. Maybe it's because there is fault there, right?
Yeah.
But maybe also it takes our mind off what we're trying to process or what have you. But were you beyond help? Could you have been helped at any point? Do you feel there was a state intervention on this journey that could have? No, nothing.
No, because it wasn't my time yet. Like, I had willingly convinced them that I was okay. Like, one thing that comes with alcoholism is being able to be a very good actor in convincing people that you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I convinced them. Like, I'm not going to put blame on anyone when at the end of the day it was me that lifted the drink. Like,
Right.
that's something that...
So what age are we now then? So what age are we when you've come out of the psych ward, right? You're back drinking again. What age is that?
24.
24. And you packed in booze at what age?
25.
25. So we're getting to the crux of it here now.
Yeah.
Right. So from then until that, I don't know, eureka moment, the absolute rock bottom, God knows, surely you hit the rock bottom before, but something changed where it became the right time.
Yeah.
So what happened? You went back on the booze straight out of the psych ward. Did you continue the same pattern? What happened to make you want to make a change?
The drinking just got worse. It got horribly worse. And there was questions being unlocked in my mind about just my life and my father himself, just about a lot of different things. And the drinking did get worse to the extent where I was waking up and having about 8 cans in the morning just to function.
Your zero was getting back to normality was eight drinks in.
Yeah.
Getting back to sort of functioning was
Yeah.
8 drinks in. Your shakes and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Like, it's funny because, like, I could drink, like, I used to drink Buckfast as well because it was strong. So I could drink a bottle of it and nobody would recognize.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of, that's me normal then.
Yeah.
And I would have another bottle and it's like, oh, he's a wee bit drunk.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's
that was 2 bottles
the tolerance. Yeah, the tolerance just went way up. The last, it was a bender that I went on from a Wednesday night up until, no, it was a Tuesday up until a Friday. And I had called to Mum's house. Something in my mind was telling me, you need to call out to your mums. And I called out to Mum's and it was 4 o'clock in the morning on the 23rd of June 2017, and I knocked on her door and I fell through her door.
Yeah.
And she hadn't seen me in a long time. And at this stage I was kind of gaunt in the face. I was down to 9 stone. I'm a happy 13 stone now, so you can imagine. And I spoke to Mum and I sat down on the couch, and the first question to come out of my mouth was, why did my father not want me? So these are all that was playing in my mind. And the Mum was like, look, just stay on the couch here tonight and I'm going up to bed.
Was that a moment for her? Have you spoke to her about that since? Was that because she, obviously she hadn't seen you for a while, right? But
yeah,
there's been obviously occasions where you have engaged over time and she's tried to help you and she knew it was there any, in that moment, did she see anything in you that thought maybe this time?
Yes.
Mm.
Because I had went, like, in the midst of me and Mum talking, she had went up to bed, and then I had went out to roll myself a rollie, and just tears, like there was no noise coming out of me, it was just tears coming down, and I decided I'm putting her through much. And I thought to myself, I have a can hidden somewhere. And it was a can of Hackenberg that I had hidden. And it was just in the house and estate just across the road where I was the night before, and I'd hidden a can outside, and I had drank the can on the way back to Mum's house, and I was looking straight into the river, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what, I can't swim. I might just end it all now. It's kind of a swampy river. And then it was, you're a coward, you never even said goodbye to your mum. That is disgraceful. So I remember walking back to the house, falling in through the door again. Mum straight on the phone, he's back now. I lay on the floor in the fetal position, just sitting there crying, and Mum said, you can either go back to the psychiatric unit or you can go to Coonwarra. We can get you help.
Coonwarra is a rehab centre, is it?
Yes, rehabilitation centre.
Okay.
It's run by Sister Concilio.
So what choice did you take?
Sister
Concilio.
Yeah. So I took that choice, and then Nana came in the next day, and she had flowers with her, and I thought to myself, I'm not that sick, I don't need flowers. But it was Mum's birthday.
Okay.
And it just shows the selfishness of me. I didn't even know it was her birthday.
So from there, was it steady, or did you go down deeper further? I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, I thought you can't sneeze. Oh, that's a myth. You're not supposed to be able to sneeze on air. Excuse me. Right. So did you go down deeper into a quagmire under the care of the rehabilitation centre, or did you stay steady? Like, was there again another moment, and when did that arrive?
There was. Whenever I went down there, you see, from drinking all those years, you kind of push every single emotion down. All you have is your false happiness.
Well, you're numb as well. Like, you completely.
Yeah, I have false happiness with drink, and then I have the sadness and depression the next day from not having drink, and then it's kind of like. But in the third week down there, all my emotions started coming back.
Yeah, your range is 2 emotions up until now.
Yeah, so it's just everything's coming at me, and I would be totally honest, I wanted to leave.
Was grief in there?
Not at that moment.
Oh, okay.
It didn't happen until week 9.
Right.
So, like, you're going through different emotions. Like, every week is different. It focuses on just different things inside you. So, week 9 was, I think it was listening. And it was a few different things that counsellors were trying with me. And one counsellor in week 9, one of the sessions in the morning, he picked up on something that I was speaking about. And he dug deeper and dug deeper and dug deeper. And eventually I just cracked. Yeah. And I will be honest, I was like a child. Just nose running and everything, tears coming down.
And this was triggering but potentially one of the key drivers to all this. And this was I don't know if you wanted approval from your dad. You wanted him still to be there. You wanted him to love you in your head. I don't know what needed to be fixed about your relationship with your dad in that moment, even though he's not there, if you know what I mean.
I didn't get to say goodbye as well. You see, my father left when I was very young.
Right.
And I didn't get to say goodbye. So I was collected from school.
And do you genuinely believe all of this comes from that? Or did you hang everything on that, if you know what I mean? Was it genuinely that, or was that just to blame?
I think it was also in my blood as well. Like, on my father's side, it goes back and back and back, just alcoholism. And I feel like it's sometimes in my genes.
Yeah. And that situation with your dad is something you've been working on for a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just that didn't click and go, oh yes, that's it. That meant that you identified something that would require a lot of work within yourself or with other people for a while. At what point, because obviously in these first weeks as well, you're detoxing. Right, your body's getting rid of the alcohol, so everything's exaggerated and all that stuff with that. Like, at what point then did you feel free of booze? That you felt a happiness maybe that you hadn't felt since you were, I don't know, maybe 18, 17? A genuine, non sort of booze, drug related contentment.
It was like the moment that I was leaving Coonwarra. Like, don't get me wrong, in Coonwarra you're in there for 3 months and you're kind of like in a bubble. You have some people coming in the odd time, like once a month, but it was everything just inside my mind had clicked.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the grievances and stuff that I had with my father kind of all clicked. I understood why he was absent, because he was an alcoholic himself.
Yeah.
He had died from drink. I was actually finally able to grieve and properly grieve for him. And then, like, it was all these different things were clicking in my brain.
And you would also take responsibility too as well.
Yeah, like that was a big part of it, taking responsibility for myself.
Because it'd be to say, oh, it's dad this, it's DNA that. It's, but you have to say, hold on a second, I made a lot of these decisions myself.
Like,
some of it's nature, some of it's nurture. But but there was a period in Clonmara where you did feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's about like 10, 11 weeks in, you're free of booze. You start planning, you can see the future.
Yeah.
Which must have been a beautiful feeling.
It was. It was a nerve-wracking feeling as well, because I got out and I went.
Before you do that,
yeah,
I presume they says, right, you're getting out next week or something like that there.
Yeah, week 12.
Were you fearful that once you left that space you would regress and all the good work would be undone? Because in the past, right, you know, you come out of the psych ward, first thing to the pub. Were you concerned that this was some sort of a fake euphoria, that you could regress immediately, or, as you've said a few times through the interview, was the time right?
I think just the time was right. Like, I was tired of it all once I started to see sense in it all, and once I could actually look back on myself. Like, they always tell you a thing in Clonmara, like, remember your last hangover, and it's something that I will always remember. Remember your last can of drink, and it was a Hackenberg. Like, it's something that I will always
the one
hold.
that you hid.
So I was something I'll always hold close to me, because I never kind of want to go back to that.
And then, of course, too, you know, you're going to reestablish relationships. People are pretty forgiving and understanding. Did you find that?
They were. Once I was in rehab, kind of the bridges that were built themselves.
We understood.
Yeah.
You know, because alcohol affects so many of us, either directly or indirectly. We do have a great understanding of it as a nation, and the impacts it can have on people. Not everyone's going to open the door back and go, right, I understand. But I think the good people, the important people, do.
Yeah, like Mum there, even though she put me out of the house before I went into rehab, she opened the door to me again.
Good enough for you.
Yeah, and she said to me, she was like, you can be here a month.
Yeah.
And we'll see how things are.
I'm on Team Mum for that one, I think.
I was there 3 years.
But do you know what? In a way, that really sounds good, because you were in a 12-week cycle in Clonmara, right?
Yeah.
And then you had another 4 weeks of in with your mum, and then obviously that extended out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it probably really would have been useful in structuring your life as well, and your recovery and all that type of stuff. You are alcoholic now, are you? How do you approach it? Or do you, because I think people feel not you have to say, but I think people feel they have to say it a certain way. But I'm a big believer that we're all different, and maybe you think you've beaten it and you're not an alcoholic. I don't know. What's your view?
Like, for me, I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like, recovery is a journey, not a destination. Mm-hmm. And I'll always be an alcoholic. It's just I have a problem with drink.
Did you have in the good days of your free drink? Did you have any struggles with maybe gambling, or because obviously there's an element of an addictive personality, right?
Yeah.
So was there any potholes you nearly fell into in other distractions post booze?
Oh yeah, well, gambling, yeah.
Right.
But like, it's a funny one, like, because I never seen like, oh, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But I forgot myself kind of, and I was like, oh, I have an addictive personality.
I didn't mean to pull that plaster back, by the way. But fine. I was just curious.
No, I like this kind of conversation. And no, it was only like a $5 here one week and then a $5 there. Yeah. And then I could see myself getting very excited about a football bet.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't think this is for me.
Okay, right. So you spotted that. And from there, it's, I mean, obviously, listen, life is tough whether you drink or don't.
Yeah.
People get sick. You don't get a job that you're looking for. Your car breaks down. You can't afford to. Life is, life is not rosy just because you're free of booze, right?
Yeah.
But you're better. But it has been on the up and up and up since then.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you're healthier.
Yeah.
Positive relationships.
Yeah. With my girlfriend, I'm with her 6 years, and it's the easiest relationship I've ever had. And she supports me to the fullest. Yeah, me and Annie get on very well.
Yeah.
Like, in 6 years together is a massive feat for myself and herself.
Great. Are you back in Donegal or?
No, I'm living in Monaghan. I came up from Monaghan there this morning.
So you come here, get your qualifications, and piss off again. Yeah. Lovely. Thanks very much indeed. We need a lot of chefs around here. No, I'm delighted it's going well for you. Interesting that you guessed blamed his alcoholism on his single mother situation. I'm not really quite sure you did. I think you sort of said that was the I think you were blaming everyone at that point, weren't you? It's scattergun. So it's going to be, it's mom this week. It's granny this. It's dad the next week.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you, I mean, you were, it's not your mum's fault your dad passed away or your dad left earlier. And I mean, when you're in the depths, you're blaming everybody but yourself. So I don't think there's not much more to read into that. And you've got a great relationship with your mum now.
Yeah, my mum and
it must
my
be
stepfather.
lovely for her to see you now. It must be like winning the lottery.
Mum loves it.
Her,
So does my
her
grandmother.
just waiting for the phone call. And I'm sure if she was sitting here, she was waiting for the phone call. She thought she was going to bury you. I'm sure. And now she's got a healthy, happy son in a healthy, happy relationship.
Yeah.
What a gift you've given to her. That's amazing. I don't.
Yeah.
I know you're not a parent yet, but when you are, if that's what you choose to do, you will understand exactly what I've just said. That is just the whatever you put her through, it is the most amazing gift that she can put her head on the pillow at night and not have to worry about you. Because I know she would have taken everything from you if she's anything like the rest of us.
Like I will always say with mum, like she has given me life, but she has also saved my life.
Yeah.
And especially with Mother's Day coming up, I tell her that every year on her birthday, even the odd time
I hope
call in.
your granny's not still buying the flowers.
No, she's not. No, I am.
Oh, I couldn't have.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. There's lots of help out there. Christopher's story is Christopher's story, and there's elements of it that people will relate to, and that was his journey, and other people will seek intervention at different times, and stuff will work for them. The bottom line is though you know, people are incredibly valuable, and even in the depth that we've heard from Christopher, maybe you don't think about that, but we really, really care. Us as a community really care, and your family care, and people care, and everyone is so important, and Christopher's so important. He didn't realise it in the forest, but I think he knows it now. There's lots of help. Pieta House is there, 1-800-247-247. You can call Aware, 1-800-80-4848. The Gardaí are there as well, 999 in a situation. The Samaritans, 116123. And there's a whole host of support lines that are there, mostly manned by people who care and do it for free because they want people like Christopher to be here. Thanks, Christopher.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. Best of luck to you and continued success in your life. It's lovely to hear that you're doing so well, and long may that continue. And there's absolutely nothing to suggest why. And I would say your 36th birthday will be a good little party.
Yeah.
You might bring the 40th forward to the 36th.
Yeah.
All right, Christopher, thanks so much.
Thanks
Back
very
with
much.
more after the break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Ensure the safety of your team with SafeTech. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, iPath MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. SafeTech can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact safetech.ie today.
Tesco Club Card gives you the power to more this bank holiday. Get your St. Patrick's Day started with Diet Coke and Coke Zero 18 packs, now €9. Pick up snacks for everyone with selected Pringles 165 gram, now half price. And crack open selected Easter eggs like Galaxy Minstrels or Cadbury Cream Egg, now €3.50. Get more from your shop with your Tesco Club Card or app. Shop in store or online. Tesco. Every little helps. Available in most stores. Prices vary in Express. DRS applies. Quotas may apply.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out ShaneConleyCars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town.
Mary here from the cosmetic department at McGee's Chemist to let you know that Loncome have a great beauty gift available here this week. Buy 2 Loncome products, one to be skincare, and you'll get a free 7-piece gift of your choice of either Absolute or Hydrocyn travel size creams or more iconic Loncome products. This offer is available until Saturday the 22nd of March or while stocks last. For any skincare advice, you can always talk to myself or any other staff member here at McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny.
Tina Turner. That is mine.
Looking
for the perfect Mother's Day gift? Want to show someone that you think they're simply the best? Or do you have a proud Mary you want to spoil? West End mega hit Tina, the Tina Turner musical, is coming to Bordgash Energy Theatre, Dublin as part of its first ever Ireland tour. Join Highland Radio on Friday the 6th of June for an unforgettable trip. Set to a soundtrack of Tina's greatest hits, this inspirational and exhilarating story celebrates the life of the Queen of Rock and Roll. Trip includes luxury coach travel, overnight stay at the 4-star City North Hotel on a bed and breakfast basis, and ticket to the show. Contact us today on 9125,000 or check out the outlet on highlandradio.com to book your place now.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from 40,000 to 600,000 euro with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Bargain Homewares, Lower Main Street, Letterkenny. Closing down sale. Everything must go, with up to 50% off remaining stock. Don't miss out. Grab amazing deals before they're gone at Bargain Homewares, Lower Main Street, Letterkenny.
Hello, this is Robert Mazzell. Myself and the band are celebrating 25 years on the road. We're coming to the Alley Theatre on the 4th of April to celebrate our 25th anniversary. If you'd like some tickets, go to alleytheatre.com. Come and hear some of the old songs you love and some of the new ones as well. That's the alleytheatre.com. The 4th of April. We'll see you there.
Your specialty is quality tiles, bathroom suites and wooden floors. Who is the best range of tiles in Donegal?
Crawford Tiles.
The best wood flooring?
Crawford Tiles.
The best bathroom suites?
Crawford Tiles.
5-day bathroom refits?
Crawford Tiles.
And who's been tampering with my questions?
That'll be me.
Crawford Tiles, Castlefin. That'll be them. 07491 43942.
Go full Lidl this St. Patrick's Day with Lidl Plus. Rustle up our deluxe breakfast bundle, pudding, sausages and bacon, all for under €4. You're in luck. Our deluxe 28-day matured round roast is now $7.99 and Alexo Prosecco is $6.21. Slotcha! Scan the Lidl Plus app and go full Lidl today. Get the facts, they drink aware, visit drinkaware.ie.
Say hello to the new Seat Leon. I could tell you that our iconic hatchback has never looked sportier thanks to its bold exterior and full LED headlights. Or I could wow you with its advanced technology like adaptive cruise control, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But what I really want to talk about is its power. Choose from petrol, diesel or the next generation of plug-in hybrid, offering over 100 kilometres of electric-only driving range, giving you the best of both worlds. The new Seat Leon. Visit seat.ie for our latest offers.
Your local Seat dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721 396.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So cloud will increase through the day and will bring some further showers towards evening. Highest temperatures of 6 to 9 degrees with a light to moderate northerly or variable wind.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
It is 11 o'clock. Let's get that news update now, and it's good morning again to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. 2 councillors have voiced their frustration at the perceived lack of progress made by the Defective Bloc Committee since their election last June. At the most recent meeting, councillors Martin Scanlon and Ali Farron both expressed their concern that little has been achieved to date. Councillor Ali Farron of the 100% Redress Party specifically highlighted his frustration at the difficulty in obtaining answers to his questions. Donegal County Council is to seek a meeting with Gardaí to discuss the use of e-scooters in Letterkenny on foot of motions this week from Councillor Jimmy Kavanagh and Councillor Jerry McMonigal. Officials outlined the bylaws regarding the use of e-scooters, including a ban on their use on footpaths and the carrying of passengers. They say the enforcement of those bylaws is a matter for Gardaí. Councillor Kavanagh says discussions are necessary to ensure what could be a very positive resource in cutting down traffic congestion is used properly. Donegal County Council, in conjunction with the Slieve League Company, is holding a non-statutory public consultation to enhance the visitor experience there. The cliffs, towering around 601 metres above the Atlantic Ocean, are a popular tourist attraction. However, the current viewing point platform is made of wood and needs constant maintenance. More information on that can be found on our website, highlandradio.com. There will be fewer overseas visitors for St. Patrick's Day this bank holiday weekend. The passenger cap at Dublin Airport is being blamed. It comes on the back of a 25% fall in foreign tourists in January compared with last year. Orla Carroll from Fáilte Ireland says it's concerning, but businesses are mostly positive ahead of the summer season. And finally, there's calls for a deposit return scheme that people can use at home instead of having to bring containers to reverse vending machines. The digital scheme would work via an app and unique barcodes on bins and bottles. The Irish Waste Management Association says it would have saved €80 million a year if it had been introduced from the start. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. Back with more at 12 noon.
Okay, Donna Marie, thanks very much for that. Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. We are joined on the programme now by Sean Defoe, Bauer Media political correspondent and host of the Let Me Explain podcast, and he joins us from the United States of America. Good morning, Sean.
Morning, Greg.
I suppose reflecting on yesterday and Micheál Martin's meeting with JD Vance and indeed Donald Trump, we've seen what can happen in the Oval Office. I don't think Micheál Martin came out without any bruising whatsoever, but the general perception back home seems to be that it went as well as possibly it could. What was the sense there?
Yeah, I think so. Like when I first came out of the meeting, firstly, your head is fried because it was 50 minutes long of a press conference. And, you know, for any press conference, that's always a bit intense. But for one in the middle of the Oval Office with one of the most powerful people in the world, it was a bit of a mind melt. But coming out of it, I kind of thought it went well and badly at the same time, in that he got across the points that he wanted to get across. He didn't get stuck into any Zelensky-like mud, and able to come out of it relatively unscathed, but like you say, not entirely unbruised. And yet at the same time, Ireland got a bit of a pummeling, and so did the European Union, particularly when it came to tariffs. And it became very clear that Donald Trump is going to go after our economy. He's going to go after tariffs and going to try and reshore elements of pharma. And then there was elements where the Taoiseach decided obviously not to make it a priority or not to go after it when it came to the likes of Gaza, for example, when it came to defending the European Union. So it wasn't the perfect outing, but Ireland didn't lose out, I don't think, yesterday. I think he represented the country well.
Yeah, and in terms of, you know, what Donald Trump says, a lot of it is language, isn't it? I mean, we saw recently with the threat of Canadian tariffs, which were very quickly rolled back. And you know, he's probably best judged on his actions sometimes than his words, because also he said, didn't he, that he didn't want to do any harm to Ireland, and he spoke up Ireland very much so as well.
He did. Like, it was a weird, I don't know, backhanded compliment or sort of smiling assassin approach that he had, where he said, you know, Ireland is ripping off the US, the EU is ripping off the US, they're sort of out to get us. But I don't blame Ireland for that, because you're just making a good deal, and you've made a good deal over previous years with weak presidents, and seem to be blaming it more on his predecessors than actually anything that Ireland was doing at the moment. At the same time, acknowledging that in his view those days are over, and it's a different man in the White House now, and the deals are going to be different. So you do probably have to judge him on his actions. A week ago and 2 weeks ago, we were all criticizing for his handling of Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine. Now it seems as though he's actually got them back around the table, gotten a deal done, and put Vladimir Putin on the back foot, in that he now has a ceasefire deal that is acceptable to both the US and Ukraine, and he has to deal with it. So he is a very mercurial man. You can't necessarily take him on his word. And yet at the same time, I came out of certainly all of those meetings, not just the Oval, but in Congress, in the Vice President's residence and elsewhere, and at the Shamrock ceremony, thinking, here is a man who likes Ireland, might not stop him slapping tariffs on us, but it is a positive thing for us. And here is a man who potentially is open to doing a deal with the Taoiseach, but because we're tied into the EU, that just gets more complicated.
There's a bit of criticism back here for Micheál Martin, from our listeners anyway, in that you know, some of his demeanour as Donald Trump, say, framed the housing crisis at the moment, some criticism that Micheál Martin went along with it to some extent. It's a two-parter, but also to some criticism that, you know, we've taken quite a strong position on Gaza, for an example, compared to some other countries as well. That there was an opportunity, A, to maybe express views on Gaza, but also B, maybe interject and correct Donald Trump's assumption of what's led to the housing crisis, for an example. Do you believe that was a decision that Micheál Martin chose not to get involved in that regard, or to change his demeanour when certain things were raised? Because the world's and the country's eyes were on him, of course.
Yeah, it was definitely up to a point. I think he went in saying the most important thing is Ireland's economy. That's the thing I'm going to push back on. And he did push back on that and talked about Ryanair and AirCap and buying the Boeing planes, and that it's not all as simple as the trade deficit figures, and decided he clearly had decided, in my opinion, wasn't going to make a big deal out of Gaza. He did mention it. He talked more in terms of Israel, though, and maybe Ireland not being as anti-Israel as Benjamin Netanyahu might have told Donald Trump in the past. Didn't really raise Palestine to any great degree or force. He did come across quite meek at times. For me, that both on Gaza, in the housing thing as well, and when it got into several issues, he was sort of sitting back, letting Trump do his own thing and have his way on it. There were quite a lot of times, I don't know, did it come across on the TV cameras, where Micheál Martin was trying to butt in, but didn't do it forcefully enough and couldn't get in either over Trump or over the American and Irish media who were shouting instead. So there were times that he just tried to insert himself, but that's not where he's most comfortable. And you saw it in the Shamrock ceremony when he is delivering a prepared speech and he knows exactly what he's going to say. That's where he's at his most comfortable. And he just wasn't as good in the, let's be fair about it, TV show that was the Oval Office yesterday and how Donald Trump does his business.
And I mean, we could look at the short, medium, long term. I think JD Vance was far more favourable towards Ireland, and he is, unlike Kamala Harris, it looks like he very much likely will be the next president if all goes to plan. So really, in terms of looking beyond Donald Trump's term and what might come, you know, there is the foundations being set there for retaining that positive relationship, I think, between Ireland and the United States, because this rhetoric or even actions, it will eventually die down, because the American public eventually will get sick of the word tariffs.
Yeah, well, they'll get sick of prices going up. And
Yep.
it's actually been the big issue in the American media this week has been potential recession, Donald Trump not ruling that out. There's a potential federal shutdown as well here, a bill that they're trying to get through Congress that would mean job losses across the public service in the US. That's proving very controversial as well. The price of eggs, which was obviously a big election issue and is still, even this morning on Fox as I was watching it, some of the is a big thing here. So if a trade war starts and those prices don't go down, as Donald Trump has promised they would, that's going to be more of an issue for him domestically and a bit of a problem. I suppose when it comes to JD Vance, really positive. I mean, we went in not really knowing, because he was the instigator with Zelensky. Is this going to go well? Could he bring up something like the Burkes, which didn't? Could he bring up something like freedom of speech? How are the plans for the hate speech laws that have now been dropped? Something like that. It was all positive.
And I won't keep you. And I imagine too beforehand they say, right, well, we won't bring that up if you don't bring that up. I mean, there's bound to be a little bit of chess play beforehand. One final thing. It is a strange situation as a media consumer here that, I mean, obviously I'm an X, and you get those that are anti-Donald Trump, and they'll twist everything to be anti-Donald Trump, okay? But what I don't get any exposure to at all is regular American people, the 50% of the population that didn't vote for Donald Trump. It's almost like a dictatorship, and not in Trump's behaviour. But you hear those that are very organised and against him, but it's so partisan you almost ignore it. Are you getting any sense over there of what people, normal people, think? Are they being swayed towards Trump? Are they very much anti-Trump?
There's a lot of people I've been speaking to, and again, like that, I'm very conscious that the media that you consume as well is very one way or the other, as well as the social media. So talking to the Uber drivers, the taxi drivers, the people in the shops that I've met kind of over the last week, a lot of them, they don't agree with Trump, but they're a little bit more indifferent. Like a lot of particularly the people driving Ubers around here, have sort of said it doesn't really matter whether it's a Democrat or whether it's Trump. I'm just going to go out and do my job, and I'm going to try and afford everything, and hopefully he'll make the prices come down a little bit for me. I don't agree with what he says. He's a bit mad, but then again, he just says these things to get a reaction and provoke a bit of a war with the EU. They don't care if the EU suffers. They're kind of like, oh yeah, well look, if it makes my life a bit better in the long run, that's absolutely fine. And it doesn't make a huge difference to them. And interestingly, I was speaking to quite a few Irish people in industry here, and a lot of Irish people in Texas when we were there who are involved in the energy industry was asking, does this push away from green from Donald Trump make a difference to you? And they all said no. These companies, pharma companies, the energy companies, they plan in 10, 15, 20-year horizons. So they're not going to upend their entire plan based on 4 years of Trump. That might be JD Vance and the same thing for 8 years, and it might not. It might be a Democrat coming out of nowhere to sort of win the next election. So yes, he consumes everything he draws, everything into his bubble, but life is going on. It's not like people are crying on the street here, wailing at Donald Trump. They're going about their business, they're going to their jobs and just sort of getting on with it.
Are the Uber drivers mentioning they might be out of jobs with robo-taxis? What they view Elon Musk's role in the US administration? Because again, it's very hard for me to determine that because it's always framed a certain way by vested interests, if you know what I mean. How do they see him? You've known yourself, Sean, this whole idea of Doge is really quite popular because we hear about, the walls, the huts, the scanners, you know what I mean, waste upon waste upon waste. So the whole Doge notion is actually really kind of attractive, right? But again, what is it actually delivering? Is there an apathy to that as well?
I've two branches of opinions. One who's like, well, he's the real president, isn't he? And, this is all kind of a bit funny. And sure, hey, if he cuts it and it doesn't affect me, that's fine. He'll save a bit of money. And the other side, where there are genuine and quite worrying cuts to the federal government that is affecting a lot of people's jobs and livelihoods and uncertainty. And as I mentioned, that bill is going to potentially to have a federal shutdown. So there is a real broad range of opinion, a lot more negative opinion, I think, towards Elon Musk than there is Donald Trump. But they also see that he's somebody who could be dumped out, and that he's sort of this billionaire superstar. It's a weird and not always welcoming atmosphere to him, but in some areas indifferent if it doesn't affect them. I find Americans are very focused on their own life. And if they're not a federal worker, then that's going to affect them. Interestingly, you mentioned, I did get a robo-taxi for the first time the other day that came up when I ordered the Uber. It's like, do you want to upgrade to this free driverless thing?
I'll have a go with that.
One of the most freaky things I've ever done, sitting in the front seat and the wheel is turning. But interestingly, it acts almost like a taxi driver in that we were coming up to a yellow light and it genuinely thought about braking it.
Just one other comment really more about Elon Musk. With shows like Saturday Night Live that do have an influence, I think, in certain ways. And, someone like Donald Trump is immune from that, I think. This is just my opinion. But Mike Myers' portrayal of Elon Musk, he's removed far enough that it starts to make him look a bit jerky and a bit strange and a bit crazy, and things like that, the Tesla stock dropping and other things. I do feel that maybe his star is starting to fall a little bit because I do believe he's more vulnerable to sort of jeering and hand taking and that kind of stuff.
I always thought that the two of them were on course for a clash because Donald Trump is the alpha male and can't stand anyone else being the alpha male. And that, eventually this idea of him being the real president would get to him, which made it all the more remarkable that he had Teslas on the front lawn and spent some of his own money to buy one this week in an extraordinary bit of market bias, but also a show of support towards Elon Musk. So for now, he seems to be in it for the long term. And that's the really interesting bit for me about the Trump administration this time. He's not firing a bunch of people. He's surrounded himself with cronies who are sticking with him, who he seems to actually like, and who are getting an awful lot more done than they did last time. And you can take that however you want, as a worrying thing or as an American, that actually stuff is getting done here that may help them in the long run. But they're already, the public here, particularly through Fox and that, they're being conditioned that there will now be short-term pain. It's how much they will accept that to have a long-term gain.
I just don't think I could consume such partisan media, to be honest with you. I really couldn't. And it doesn't surprise me that the likes of X and other platforms are so strong. I don't want to sit and be told what I think and agree with it and all the time. It would do my planting. All right, Sean, well, listen, enjoy the rest of your time. Thanks very much. What time is it there?
What time is it? It's 7:15 in the morning.
You're all right. So you'd be up anyway. No bother. I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, we're fine. It was the 10 calls before you that got me up early, so you're fine.
That's a you problem, Sean. I'm only joking. Listen, thanks for your time, all right? Thanks, care of yourself, Sean. All right, cheers. All right, that's Sean Defoe there, who's the Bauer Media political correspondent and host of the Let Me Explain podcast, speaking to us from the United States of America. All right, we'll be back with more on the show after these.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Get set for St. Patrick's Day with all your essentials at Cost Cutter. Meadowbrook Farm Irish whole chicken, 1400 gram, only €5.49. Griffin's washed Irish roosters, 10 kg, only €8. Offers are available in selected Cost Cutter stores until April 2nd. Cost Cutter, the beating heart of the community.
Restex Beds, celebrating 50 incredible years of helping you dream better, sleep deeper and wake up refreshed. For half a century, we've been your trusted partner in comfort and innovation. And now, introducing the new Glenveigh mattress, designed with cutting-edge technology for ultimate support and luxurious comfort. It's the perfect way to celebrate our golden anniversary with the best sleep of your life. Visit Restex Beds today and experience 50 years of excellence. Restex Beds. Leave the rest to us.
Want a new car? Think Kia. Call Heron Auto Donegal Town on 074 9722 555. We're excited to offer a fantastic selection of self-charge and plug-in hybrid cars, along with petrol and electric cars. With finance rates starting from an incredible 0% APR and a 7-year warranty, you can drive away today with peace of mind. Call Heron Auto to find your perfect vehicle and experience our commitment to excellence. Drive with confidence. Drive with Heron Auto, Donegal Town.
Highland Radio's 35th Birthday Charity Day. Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation supports children and adults with additional needs, offering essential services, activities and respite for families across Donegal.
I think it makes a very big difference because it gives me something to do, and I'm learning a lot of skills from both the foundation and work experiences and things like that.
For just €10, you can support Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation and other incredible causes while securing your chance to win in our big cash giveaway this Friday. Donate today and make a real difference. Visit highlandradio.com now.
Enjoy real savings this Patrick's Weekend at SuperValue. Like SuperValue Signature Taste Steak and 2 sides, the perfect meal for 2, only €15. Signature Taste Party Food Mix and Match any 3 for €10. And scan your card or app and get Coca-Cola 7up Club and Pepsi 18-pack cans, now €10. Make real savings every week at SuperValue. DRS applies.
Okay, right. Let's see what's coming up over this weekend. We invited people to give us a buzz so we could let others know what's going on. Porrick Bells at the Donegal Youth Service. Hi, Porrick.
Hi, how's it going, Greg?
I'm doing good, and a great day planned at the Donegal Youth Service for St. Patrick's Day. Talk to me about what's going on and who's it for.
Yes, so the organisation, we're holding our annual St. Patrick's Day event on Monday from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and it's for all the family. Everybody's invited.
And this is about, if my memory serves me correctly, something for families to do, young people to do that's not around alcohol, it's not around drugs. Not that every young person is into that, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it can feel that there aren't any alternatives. So this is a way for families to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with lots of activities and stuff. What's going on?
It is. So we've got a full day of activities planned. As I say, we're open from 12 o'clock. And we will have live music from some new up-and-coming artists who are using the centre. And we will have some arts and crafts, hair braiding, nail art, face painting. And this year we've seen the inclusion of our pop-up shop, which is the 50 Threads, which is part of our positive environmental action project.
All right, and I like the tasty food options. You didn't mention that. I hope that hasn't been cancelled, because that would be what would get my ass in there. It's from 12 to 4, and I think, too, it's in Letterkenny, isn't it, in the centre? And maybe, lots of people travel into Letterkenny, and maybe mum and dad can do what they want to do, and their teenagers can head in. That's fine, too, isn't it? Listen to some music and have a bit of crack with like-minded people of the same age.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're hoping, Greg. We're hoping that young people will come in and use the service, as you said. They offer them an alternative to St. Patrick's Day, which we know has a connotation with alcohol. So it's to give them a fun alternative. And who knows, they might see the next up-and-coming musical artist from Ireland on the day as well.
No doubt, because the talent is absolutely amazing, and it's a great space for them to be able to harness that talent. That is March 17th, Monday, between 12 and 4 p.m. It's on the Port Road. It's the Donegal Youth Services. It's a fun, an alcohol-free environment for the whole family. But of course, the address is 16 to 18 Port Road. and I thought that's who was guided at the beginning. Porg, my mistake. It's for everyone. All right, cheers,
Yes.
buddy. Good luck on Monday.
No problem at all, Greg. Thank
Great
you very
stuff.
much.
Take care of yourself. Magella McFadden's the Community Links Manager with Creeslough Community Association. Good morning, Magella.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Your celebrations
Good.
are on the Monday, kicking off at noon. What's happening in beautiful Creeslough on Monday?
Well, all going well weather-wise, Greg. Yeah, we're
It'll be
kicking off at 12 o'clock. And so anyone that is participating are invited to meet up behind the chapel from 11:15 onwards.
Can I just
And
change that?
this
You've been
year-
very polite there, Magella, but what I want to say on your
Yeah.
behalf is, if you're taking part, right, be there at
yeah.
11:15 because Magella wants to start this at 12 noon sharp. Is that it?
I know. Well, I hope nobody's timekeeping. If anybody's timekeeping is like my own, Greg, then we're in trouble. But yeah, so listen, if you can get there at 11, that would be even better. And the theme this year is about the legends of Creeslough, past and present, and I've already had a hint from a few different floats, and they're taking it very serious. And one of those, I won't give too much away, Greg, but one of those, the Creeslough Walking Group, we have a few relatives of Brady Gallagher in there, so that's going to be a really
You
special.
spoilt with legends.
Special float.
You spoilt with legends, Magella, but Bridie's the queen, isn't she? That's fantastic.
is.
Okay, and so there's going to be a parade. Lots of people entering. Heroes of yesteryear today. Local
right.
community members, and there's going to be first, second, and third for the best floats. Are you judging, Magella?
I won't be judging now. We have a couple of great committee members judging. I better not give their names
No
away,
problem.
though.
Don't want them being
we'll not do
bribed
that.
before Monday.
That's exactly right. You just don't know what would happen. And but they're very good. And we'll have Dennis and Eamon. They do a Facebook Live feed.
Brilliant.
So for all of our community members that are away, and we've quite a few away, they will be able to tune in. And we done it last year, and it got great feedback. So we'll do that again. Our roving reporters will be up and about from 11 o'clock onwards.
I love that.
We
And do you know
also
what,
have-
too,
I'd love
Magella?
to-
That's lovely for people who it's not as easy for them to get out of the house locally as either to be able to feel a part of it. Which I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, no, it is. And as I say, the feedback on it last year was great. So, and it's a bit of fun as well, and everyone gets to see it from the house or from Australia or from wherever you might be. And another important wee thing that we have happening this year, and it might be a first for the parade, well, it is a first for our parade, we have a sensory room in the hub in Creeslough.
Wow.
For kids that may not be able to cope with the noise and the hustle and bustle of the parade, but they can see it from the room in the hub in Creeslough. So we'll have a quiet room, and if anyone wants to bring their kids along, they can come. They just give us a wee call at the hub, and we'll book them in, and they can watch the parade from a quiet space.
Well done.
here
That's
in the
lovely.
middle of the
That's
town.
really inclusive. I love that. So there's the best float. There's the greenest sustainable float award. The best decorated house shop front. So I'm sure the work has already started, but don't forget to do as much as you can. And it's all the theme being local legends, past and present. And of course, as Magella mentioned, that very inclusive sensory room at the hub. And also that Facebook stream as well with the lads if you can't get to it. Well done, Magella. The weather's going to be grand. Don't you worry about that. Just you enjoy it.
I do have one more wee thing that I did forget to mention, and I thought it was really important too.
Go ahead,
I won't
Magella.
keep you long. And it is the band is reforming now. We've got 17 young children lined up.
Oh,
now
wow.
we've only just got together, and we've asked some of the older band members from a few years ago to support us. So we've got the drummers coming out. We've got the old school drums that were up in the attic, and it is a wee bit sort of poignant because Master Kevin Ward, who just passed away last week, would have been the founder of that band. So, he'll be on our minds next Monday, but it will be another special addition to the band this
He'll
year.
be smiling down, incredibly proud, don't you know? Thank
Indeed
you,
he will.
Magella. A lovely way to mark
Thank
a
you,
great
Greg.
man.
Thanks a
Thank
million.
you so much. Magella McFadden there, Community Links Manager with Creeslough Community. James Devaney is at the CDP Letterkenny, and he's with us now. What's coming up, James?
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good morning, James.
On St. Patrick's Day, we have, first of all, we have our float and the parade for people to watch out for, where we're doing Letterkenny CDP does Stars in the Skies. I'll not say too much out for it, but just watch out for the float in Letterkenny. But down in the Courtyard Shopping Centre, Greg, we're having a massive pre-parade party, and it begins at 1 o'clock and it goes on until 3 o'clock before the parade starts. It's to give people a party atmosphere and a non-alcohol surrounding, where we have face painting for the kids and adults if you want to get your face painted as well. We have traditional Irish music. We also have a room set up where we have Irish stew and there's traditional Irish music going on in there. We have 3 groups of Irish dancers coming in on the day. We have an arts and crafts table for the kids as well. Outside in the foyer of the Courtyard Shopping Centre, we're going to have games, wooden games for the children and for the adults as well, where there's balancing boards, there's giant Jenga, there's all those games, but they're in a bigger format for the kids as well, out where they do the face painting as well.
Brilliant.
We also have a table set up as well, where especially for the children, where we've got shamrock-shaped cookies, and there's a competition for the children and decorating those as well. And as I say, it all starts off at 1 o'clock, goes right up until 3 o'clock before the parade starts, just to give people a wee something to do before the parade starts, rather than just come into the town, watch the parade, and straight back out again.
And it's at the Letterkenny CDP, which is Unit 25, Courtyard Shopping Centre. Again, an opportunity to have fun, and it's in an alcohol-free environment as well. And as you say, it's a kick-off party, isn't it? It starts at 1, finished
party,
at 3, out for the parade, bish, bash, bosh, Irish stew in the tank. Everything sounds fantastic.
Something there for all the family. It doesn't matter what age you are, there's something there for everybody.
Well done, James and the crew. Thank you so very much for that. Let's go to the award-winning Moville St. Patrick's Festival. Award-winning, no less. Good morning to you, Mr. Eamon McLaughlin. How are you getting on?
I'm fine, Greg, and yourself?
I am doing really good, actually. Things are good at the moment. Okay, so it's not just about one day in Moville. There's a whole weekend of activities to mark this wonderful national day of ours.
Absolutely, Greg, yeah. Our parade has been running since 1990, and each year we try to add something different to it when we can. So this year we're really having a full weekend event, as you say. And we start off at 7:30 tomorrow evening in the corner bar with anybody interested in upskilling their Irish language. That's the place to go. There's a wee conversation group meets there for about an hour. And you don't have to be proficient. You'll learn a few things and that sort of thing. And then later on, at 9 o'clock in the hall, we have a big bingo session with the top prize of €300. And at 10 o'clock in Rosato's Bar, we have an Irish-themed quiz, table quiz.
Brilliant.
Then on Sunday, we have a 5-kilometre fun run from the big tree, starting at 11 o'clock. And you can just register outside Maguire's Bar. And on the Sunday night, we have Irish music and dancing. Ceol agus Rinka Traditionta in the Trollman Bar at 10 o'clock. And that's always a very, very popular night.
And is there a treasure hunt on Saturday afternoon as well?
The treasure hunt is on the Sunday, yeah. It's on at 4 o'clock from Maguire's Bar. It's a car treasure hunt, and we had around 20 cars on that last year, so it was very, very popular.
Brilliant. That sounds like great fun. All roads then lead to Monday. It's the big day.
Yeah,
St. Patrick's
Monday's
Day
the
parade.
big day. Yeah, and just before the parade starts, about 2 o'clock in the square, David Craig's band will be playing. And as you know, he's a great singer and he's a fantastic band. He plays a lot of times in Moville, and with the utmost respect from him, I think he's one of the best entertainers in Ireland.
That's the word I was going to use. He's a great performer, David, in fairness.
Absolutely, yeah. There's people that can sing well, but there's people that can perform well. He can both sing and perform well, and he's backed up by very competent musicians.
That starts at 2.
That starts at 2, and then about 2:15, we're going to have some set dancers in the square, throwing a shape or two and showing their skills. And then at 2:30, the parade begins. Now, this is a really big event for us because we are giving €1,000 to the best float and €500 to the runner-up. And we've got 6 themes. They are topical, original, traditional, artistic, humorous, and sustainable. So there'll be a specially handmade crafted award for the winner on each category, and then the overall winner will get €1,000, and the runner-up will get €500, and that will be announced at the presentation of prizes in the corner bar at 9 o'clock on Friday the 21st.
And I should mention there is no entry fee, and floats are welcome from absolutely everywhere. So some parades are happening on Sunday potentially, so you can make Monday, or if it's later or earlier in the day. The assembly point for motorised floats is Moville Co-op. Bands and walking participants will assemble at the corner bar on Quay Street with a view to everything getting underway at 2:30. And as you say, on Friday the 21st of March, the presentation of prizes takes place in the corner bar from 9 p.m. You could argue it's a week of celebrations if you wanted to. Brilliant stuff.
It is, yeah. And could I just say, Greg, as well, it's just below the Moville Co-op for the motorised floats participate.
Understood.
And and could I say, as well, I know some parades are having their festivities on the Sunday. So if any floats there want to come down and participate with us, and they have a chance to win that money, they'd be more than welcome.
Well, they've put in all the effort. Why not pitch for the €1,000 prize, the €500 runner-up prize, or indeed one of the best-in-class prizes? Why not? If you've already gone to all the effort, get it to Moville.
Absolutely. Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
Eamon, lovely to chat to you.
We've marching bands as well.
Of course you do.
Say as well,
yeah,
Greg, that I want to acknowledge all the people that contributed to our ticket sales over the last few weeks.
Is this the Lucky Shamrock draw, is it?
And the Lucky Shamrock's going to be there on the day, and that's what keeps us going. And it's a good bit of banter and crack. Buy a Lucky Shamrock, put it in your coat, and we know you've funded us and helped us. And I also want to say as well, I want to wish good luck to all the other committees that's running St. Patrick's Day parades, especially our neighbours in Moncrana here in Inishowen, because I know the amount of time and effort and expense involved in this. So I would like to see everybody in the county and indeed nationally all celebrate this national event together.
For sure. And you know what? It looks like for the most part the weather's going to play ball, and that's the one thing organising committees can't sort out. So that's looking good at this stage. Eamon, take care of yourself. Well done to you and all.
Thank you very much.
Go on, what were you going to say?
The Child of Prague.
Here we go. It's the Child of Prague. You know what? It wouldn't be St. Patrick's Day if you didn't bring out the Child of Prague.
Absolutely. Thank
you
very much, Greg, for coverage.
No, it's our pleasure. And we're going to be talking about Letterkenny in a moment too. Not too late, by the way, if you have an event at the weekend for your community, 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text, or call 07491 25,000.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Ah, springtime, the harmonious bird song, the bleating of lambs, and the powerful blast of a pressure washer. Get all your spring jobs done with Screwfix. There's great value across pressure washers, lawnmowers, garden tools and outdoor paint. And top brands like Karcher, Mountfield, Ronseal and Fortress. Shop online or in store.
Beef price boom continues. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, find out what's driving beef quotes closer to €8 per kilo. Red hot mart prices see farmers rein in cattle buying. IFA demands new acres interim payment. Farmer fears over re-wetting to the fore. Don't miss our step-by-step guide to check if you have peat soils that fall under Gay Act 2. And we examine if the vacant house grant is pushing up the cost of building works. All inside this week's Irish Farmers Journal, on sale now.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Halliford. From garden furniture to kitchens, sofas and dining sets, all under one roof. Need a new mattress? Why not visit our sleep centre on the first floor? With a large range of quality beds and mattresses in stock and ready for collection or delivery. Relax in our coffee shop serving hot lunches daily. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors, The Halliford.
We love better value at Dunnes Stores. Toast to savings with a fantastic selection of red and white wines, like Santa Rita Cabernet Sauvignon and Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc. Now €10 or less. Mix and match any three for €5 on a great range of treats and drinks, like Nestle Bar Multipacks, Pringles and 7-Up 2 litre. Dunnes Stores. Always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Prices subject to deposit return scheme fees. Please drink sensibly.
Shop Homeland's March Mega Deals. Dulux Soft Sheen or Vinyl Mat, pure brilliant white 10 litre, buy 2 for €75. Foxfield Gold ton bag of decorative stone, now €79.99, save €20. Offers end March 23rd. Visit your local Homeland or homeland.ie. Nationwide delivery available.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
The time now is 11:36. As part of our celebrations this week and I suppose culminating tomorrow, we have some fantastic lots that have been donated to us by some of our best businesses across the Northwest. They've given them to us at their expense, and we're inviting you to bid on them, which means that we're raising money for Huey's Corner, Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation, and Donegal Cancer Flights and Services. And anything that you bid for these prizes goes straight to those charities. The Wild Atlantic Camp. We've got a 3-night stay in the Wild Atlantic Camp. 8 people could avail of this effectively. You stay in their luxury new large chalets, sleeping up to 8. You'll be spoilt for choice of things to do in and around Creeslough anytime outside July and August. That's worth a minimum of €600, and we've got a €200 bid in on that at the moment. That's the winning bid as we speak. So if you fancy that and you want to support our charities, give us a call on 07491 25000 and make your bid. We also have an opportunity for you to bid for your place in the history books, along with you and your family and friends, plus a vehicle for the first official crossing on board the brand new ferry, the Ironmore Blue. The crossing will be shared on social media. It's going to be a great day, and that's worth at least $300. It's going to be a fantastic day out. It's going to be in the next 6 weeks or so. So be part of history there and get out in the boat. It's beautiful. Bid on that. Give us a call, 07491 25000. Give us a starting bid if you like. We also have on board the Wheelhouse Pods and Glamping crew. You can stay overlooking Lackina Lake in Burton Port. It's a 2-night stay in their luxury pods that include a jacuzzi. We have a bid in at the moment for $150, I think. So you can outbid that person. It's worth a minimum of $350. Call 07491 25000 if you'd like to secure that potentially, but also support our 3 charities. You can also email auction@highlandradio.com. Also, a Spanish villa. This has proved very popular. It's a 1-week stay in a luxury 4-bed villa. It's a 7-night stay close to Torrevieja and Alicante Airport. It's available September, December of this year, and we've got a €1,000 bid in on that already. Might be hard to match that. It's a goodie. But €1,001 will secure that, you know. There's been a lot of activity on our lot for dinner for 2 at Nevin Maguire's, plus a signed book, a hamper, and a piece of cutlery as well. So you'll be dining at the award-winning Nevin Maguire restaurant. It's in Blackline in County Cavan, of course. You'll get that book, the hamper, and the Nevin Maguire cutlery. You know how hard it is to get in there because it's so blooming popular. We have a winning bid at the moment of €500. So that's going to be worth $1,000, I think. But at the moment, 500's winning it, and it may well go on to win it. So who's to say? A number of people already bidding on this wonderful prize kindly donated to us by Sharon Hair and Beauty. It's a human hair wig, which means it's of the highest quality, and it's ideal for anyone who maybe is going through treatment, post-treatment, and the post-treatment regrowth. It might be nice for someone to have that. Maybe you just want a simple, natural, full-bodied look on your head. Maybe you've got alopecia. You know yourself who that's relevant to. Maybe it's for you, or maybe it's someone close to you. It's worth €2,500. That is a premium product. We've a couple of bids on that. At the moment, it's $150. We haven't really pushed this to the full extent yet, so you could sneak in and get that for an absolute bargain. We also have a silver party at Century Play. It's for up to 15 children. You can have a 1-hour, 15-minute play, party food and goodie bag for 15 of the young people in your life. Or you can have the cinema experience where there's a movie of your choice from the listings available, a party tray, food at Century Play and a goodie bag. That's going to be worth £250. We already have a bid for that for $300. So it's exceeded its value, but it's still winnable, and you still could donate $350 and be donating €115 each to our 3 charities. Do you get me? Right, okay. Also a very popular lot here. It's a 2-night stay with breakfast at the 4-star Canal Court Hotel in Newry in County Down. It's right in the heart of Newry town. It's sponsored by our friends at Radisson Blu in Letterkenny. You can stay in Newry, explore it, or you can travel into Dublin if you wanted to. 200 quid's the bid on that at the moment. It's worth 5. So if you want to bid on that, 07491 25,000, or you can email auction@highlandradio.com. Our friends at the Shandon Spa have been generous as always. They have given us a spa day for 4 people at the Shandon. It includes a 1.5-hour thermal spa experience, a 30-minute private bay view tub experience, and a glass of bubbly, and afternoon tea for 4. Get together with 3 of your mates and say, look, wouldn't that be lovely for us to go and do? I guarantee you will love it, you will enjoy it, you'll be treated like kings and queens. At the moment, 270 quid is the highest bid. It's generous. Thank you for that bid. But I think 4 of you could get together. 100 quid each, maybe? I don't know. It's up to you. David James is in concert in Sligo on the 25th of May. We have tickets for that concert and an overnight stay for 2 people in the Sligo Park Hotel with breakfast. A nice little day out for you towards the end of May, a night out. We have a bid in that for 250 quid. If you want to go down to that, the hotel stay's got to be worth that, doesn't it? But you also get to see David and his band in concert. Give us a call, 07491 25,000. Harvey's Point, we all know how beautiful a hotel that is. We've got a 2-night bed and breakfast midweek stay. It includes breakfast, as I mentioned, and dinner for 2 people. We have a 600 bid in for that at the moment. Very generous. Thank you so very much indeed. It could well win. But maybe someone wants to call us on 07491 25,000 and outbid that listener. Someone's going to get themselves maybe a cheeky, cheap Shop LK voucher, because we've got one valued at 250 quid. And that is just 250 quid. You can go into Curry's, you can go into anywhere and buy whatever you like to the value of 250 quid. At the moment, the top bid's 80. It's a cheeky wee bid. People have been going up in tenors on that. It might win. I don't know. It's worth 250 quid. What's it worth to you? You can spend it in no end of places, of course. If you want to bid on that, 07491 25,000, or email your bid to auction@highlandradio.com. And let me say, the prizes are sorted. They've been donated. The last prize, sponsored by Letterkenny Chamber. So whatever you bid on that money is going directly to our chosen charities. We are already getting to good money, but we need more of your money to support our free, brilliant charities. And don't forget as well, time is running out. Do you want to be in 9 draws for €1,000 cash tomorrow? All you have to do is buy a ticket. It's a tenner. It's €1.10 per draw. You've got about a 3,500, potentially 3,500 to 1 chance of winning. If you do the lotto, which is great, don't get me wrong, to win an 1,500 quid, your odds are 45,000 to 1. And how much are your tickets? We're giving you a chance much less than that for a €1.10 ticket effectively. Go on to our website, highlandradio.com. Get your tickets now so you're in all the draws tomorrow and you can enjoy our fantastic day of entertainment. It's an open day. It's going to be fantastic. Or give us a call right now in 07491 25,000. Donate €10 to our charities and you could win one of 9 prizes for €1,000. €1.10 an auction. €1.10 a ticket effectively per draw, with odds that are 10 times greater than you might see on the lotto, for an example. We've just had another cheeky bid on the Shop LK voucher. It's going up to 100 quid. Any more updates for me to read before I take a break and go to our next round of St. Patrick's weekend celebrations? Right, okay, stay there. I'm going to take a break. It's about 4 minutes, and we're going to come back to let you know what you could be up to this weekend across our beautiful counties of Donegal, Leitrim. Leitrim? Yeah, I'll claim Leitrim, North Leitrim, Tyrone and Derry. Back after this.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Here at Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville and Bridgend, we stock recliner and fabric suites, dining tables and chairs, beds and mattresses, curtains and rugs, and don't forget our large flooring department stocking carpet, vinyl and laminate flooring. We can't be beaten on price or quality and give a weekly delivery service to Donegal, Derry and Strabane, not to be matched. So call in today to Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville or Bridgend for all your home furnishing needs.
Tesco Club Card gives you the power to more. Spoil your guests with our delicious finest range. Like our certified Irish Angus ribeye joint, now half price. Pair with perfect sides like our potato gratin, any 2 for €7. And raise a glass with our Saint-Emilion, now €12. Get more from your shop with your Tesco Club Card or app. Shop in store or online. Tesco. Every little helps. Available in most stores. Prices vary in Express. Enjoy alcohol responsibly.
On Business Matters this week, I'll be speaking with Helen Nolan, Chief Executive of the award-winning social enterprise business Spree August Sport, and also Neil McDonnell, Chief Executive of ISME, about why many businesses want to see a change to the Defamation Amendment Bill. So join me, Chris Ashmore, for Business Matters on Sunday after the 6 o'clock news.
Business Matters on Highland Radio is brought to you by Local Enterprise Office Donegal. If you have an idea to start or grow your business within Donegal, contact the Local Enterprise Office to find out more about the supports available for businesses. See localenterprise.ie/Donegal.
Back to the pitch with Brian McCormick Sports. Football boots for all ages. Adidas Copa Pure Pro in real soft leather. It's a must try on. Adidas Predator Pro in soft ground. The perfect boot for extra grip on pitch. Boots for kids in Velcro or lace with all your training essentials, gum shields, shorts and compression tops. Look the part, play the part. In store and online. Click on bmcsports.ie.
Join us today for the Jive Time Show with David James live from Letterkenny Shopping Centre from 2:30 to 5. Come along and get your tickets for our 35th birthday charity draw, where we're giving away €1,000 every hour from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday. Not only will you be in with a chance to win, but you'll also be supporting 3 amazing charities.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
This Saturday night, the wait is over. After extensive refurbishment, Voodoo Venue Letterkenny is back. Bigger, better and ready to party. Fresh new look, same great atmosphere. Live music all weekend long. Doors open this Saturday 15th. Don't miss it. Voodoo Venue Letterkenny, where the party never stops.
Hip hip hooray! Hip and knee replacement surgery is now fully reimbursed by the HSE under the Northern Ireland Planned Healthcare Scheme. Why wait? Access treatment faster at Kingsbridge Private Hospital in Belfast or Ballykelly. You'll be seen within 7 days and have your surgery within 21 days. We guarantee it. Text hello to 51777 for a call back from our dedicated cross-border team, or visit kingsbridgeprivatehospital.com/cross-border for further information.
It's your lucky day. Get ready for the St. Patrick's sale at Easy Living Furniture. Absolutely everything's reduced across all departments, including sofas, dining, bedroom, mattresses and home accessories. There's no better time to prepare your home for spring. Shop the St. Patrick's sale this bank holiday weekend at Easy Living Furniture and get the furniture you've been dreaming of at prices that are hard to believe. Visit Easy Living Furniture, Crescent Link Retail Park, Derry, Londonderry.
McCullough Jewellers in Letterkenny are synonymous with fine jewellery, quality watches and giftware, with stores at Main Street, Letterkenny and the Letterkenny Shopping Centre, or online at ormccullough.com. You can choose from their quality product range in a relaxed atmosphere, and their sales staff will be happy to help you make the right choice, whatever the occasion. McCullough Jewellers, making moments magical for generations.
Go full Lidl this St. Patrick's Day with Lidl Plus. Rustle up our deluxe breakfast bundle, pudding, sausages and bacon, all for under €4. You're in luck. Our deluxe 28-day matured round roast is now $7.99 and Alexo Prosecco is $6.21. Slotcha! Scan the Lidl Plus app and go full Lidl today. Get the facts, they drink aware, visit drinkaware.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
So cloud will increase through the day and will bring some further showers towards evening. Highest temperatures 6 to 9 degrees. Okay, sorry for holding everyone. I'm going to go to Ardra. Stephen McCahill, good morning to you, Stephen. Chair, of course, of the Ardra chain traders. And your celebrations on Sunday, Stephen.
Yes, Greg, thank you very much for calling us. Yeah, we're going for over 30 years probably now at the parade, and we've been blessed with Wonderful people, as always, to do it, like Margaret Boyd of Ardra Landrette and Magella and Thomas McWoney. Stalwarts the parade have been at it for years and are again involved this year. But then after COVID, we had to get it revived again, and Cube Oil for the last 2 years has made a massive job of it. Now this year, a wonderful new committee have come into play, and they have fantastic new innovative ideas, and I know they have a lot more plans in the pipeline for next year. I saw them last night putting up the buntings, and there's a whole air of positivity about the place, and it's great to see it. But our draw is always like that, as you know, Greg. So it's on Sunday, starting at 1:30, and we'll be finished before the game. So that's the important thing, for people can go and see the game.
It's probably, it's one of those games maybe you can just keep updates on Highland, but I get your point. 1:30, music, fun, and community spirit, which Ardra always excels on. Marching bands, face painting, ice cream. The Ardra Artisan Market sounds great. Entertainments, floats, and people. We love our classic cars and tractors. They're going to be there too. It all kicks in, all throws in at 1:30 in Ardra.
And I suppose this year, Greg, I'd have to say to you, Greg, I suppose I'm a bit emotional myself about this, because two of the finest people that ever were involved in community life in Ardra hadn't had the best of health in recent times, but fair play to them, they're coming out, and one of them's going to be the Grand Marshal, the other is the St. Patrick. So I hope the people of Ardra come out and support these two wonderful people for putting in the effort, like everybody else in Ardra, and I know it'll be a great day. Come out and support it. We've actually a judge flying in from Delaware. He's always wanted to be at our parade, and he's insisted that he comes some year, and this year suits him, and he's coming to Ardra today. And he'll be one of our main judges in the floats. We need the floats. We need people. The floats in Ardra are always funny floats. They're not commercial floats. They're generally witty, creative things of their time. And we have the schools involved this year as well. So there's a lot of good things. There's the best dressed window that there's a award for. But we're out again tonight, putting up more buntings and getting ready. So
thanks so much,
great
Stephen.
Atmosphere, great positivity in Ardra.
As always, thanks so much, Stephen McCahill there. Sophie Blake Gallagher is committee member of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Buncrana, and this one's on Monday, and it's the usual excellent parade and celebration, Sophie, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's it. The committee have been working hard over the past number of months to get the parade up and going, and it'll be on at 3:00 on Monday. We'll have the vintage cars, the floats, the town's looking great, the bunting's up, and hopefully the weather's good.
Yeah, and you've got the square as well, live music at the square.
Yeah, live music from Scoil Trad with Liz Woods in the square from 2:30. There's going to be lots of good crack anyway, and the committee have been working really, really hard, and the bunting finally went up. The last bit went up this week, so the town's looking great.
It always looks great, but added with the bunting as well, and music, floats, all the usual crack. Music on the square as well. Roads are going to be blocked from 2:30 to facilitate the parade at 3, but it doesn't matter because all roads lead to Buncrana. People will have the cars parked up. Have a wonderful day, Sophie. It is Buncrana at 3 p.m. Take care of yourself. Tony Forrester, CEO of Letterkenny Chamber. I knew she was going to pull out the bloody hat. I don't have a hat, so I've gone with a backdrop of shamrocks. That's the best I could do, Tony, but I think it's all right.
Yeah, well, maybe you do need a hat. Are you getting shaved tomorrow?
No. Those plans were shelved. Moving on, Tony. I don't think Hudson could have took it. Tony, I'm doing other stuff though instead. Right, Letterkenny's it's the biggest town in the county, right? And lots of people from around Letterkenny go. A lot of people go to other parades and then head into Letterkenny. We've heard of some fantastic sort of support events around the town for people who want to do things a little bit differently. But entertainment kicks off at the square from 1:30 p.m. Then the parade at 3 p.m. Sell it to us if you have to, even.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's your traditional parade. We have lots of gymnasts. We have gymnastics groups. We have school groups. We have sporting groups, and they all make lots and lots of noise. It's fabulous. At 1:30 we have Joe Gibson on the stage, with Keith obviously helping out, and then we have some Callum Keaveney up at McGettigan's Hotel. We have I've forgotten her name, No Generation, Evan Sheridan at Blake's, and Keep Her Lit in the Old Town. But we also, it might be a wee surprise because we think we're getting, I think Donald coming to visit us.
Oh, Mr. Trump.
Possibly.
Okay, on his way to Doonbeg, perhaps. Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and he might be with some other wee famous singer from Donegal, possibly.
That's the partnership I never knew I wanted, but I do.
You have to come, Greg, and just see it for yourself.
For sure, it's on Monday, isn't it? It's
Monday. Oh yeah, Monday. Our road closes from about 1:00. But there's access, obviously.
And exactly. And people know the score. It's going to be well marshalled by the crew from the chamber, but also on Garda Síochána, those with additional movement needs. I don't know how you describe that. But anyway, they'll be accommodated, of course, as always. Just follow the guidelines, get in, and have an awful lot of fun. It's going to be great. Tony, well done to you. Go ahead. Anything else to say?
Wear your green. And can I just do a wee thank you to all our businesses who sponsored the parade. Yeah. Without them, we couldn't do this.
Is your head getting smaller, or is that hat's getting bigger every year?
I think my head's getting smaller. It's great. I'm shrinking.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye, Tony. Have a great day on Monday. And listen, if there's more that we didn't get to, we can do a few tomorrow as well. Certainly shout-outs, if not interviews. By the way, we'll give you details of this shortly. Boyce's Travel are offering 2 tickets to a Celtic home game with bus transfers and an overnight stay after the match. That's going to be added to our auction. How exciting. Right, now, just to let you know that David James and the Drive Time show will be live this afternoon from 2:30pm till 5pm. They'll be in the Letterkenny Shopping Centre, and you're going to have an opportunity to make bids on the auction and buy tickets for the €9,000 draw. That's where we have to leave it tomorrow. Please tune in from 6:30. Lee Gooch, make sure you turn up, because he said this morning, turn up and he'll make tea or coffee. Do it. Why not? But certainly from 9, we're on air. Come in and see us. We've got loads of great conversation, loads of great music. It's the same on John's show, David's show, and Ivan's got some cracking live bands as well. We can't wait for tomorrow. Thank you so much for all your generosity so far. We bid you adieu for now.